Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 130 people in 11 different countries. And the theme is safety, abundance, and peace. And this is the second in the set of 2 healings, the March 2026 twin set. And it is also the final healing in March of 2026. And today is Sunday, the 22nd of March, 2026, which is 2 days into spring, officially spring. Finally, we had the spring equinox for most of my clients, except I have a handful of clients that live below the equator, in which case it is now autumn for you guys. But for most of my clients, it is now spring. Yay! Ooh, thank you for my confirmations. Feel free to text greetings in the chat. Oddly enough, it helps YouTube value the live stream and decide that it's more worthy of showing to people. Even if you're telling me what your favorite fruit is. Actually, we should do that. I keep things light. So what is your favorite 1 or 2 foods of all time, and what's your favorite fruit of all time? And what's your favorite tea of all time? Any of the above, you could answer. Any or none of the above. Or the classic, where are you and what's your weather? Okay, so let's talk about what we're doing today. There's big stuff on the menu for today. So this is the newest thing. The other thing that I'm going to talk about after this is also big too. So it depends on, you know, how you see them. They could be equally big. But this one I would say is the newest thing I'll be talking about. Serenity Rivers. And I have said that, you know, like all your auras are receiving zones. So you can bring in new energy of yours. You could bring in new energy from the universe, like good karma energy through the back, like an uplifting, gentle, supportive energy from the universe through your good karma windows back here. But really, you know, any of your new energy you can bring in any direction. So it's nice to keep your auras whole and unblocked so that, you know, you can receive good stuff, right? But Serenity Rivers is a special thing that you can receive from the universe from the front. And if you imagine like an area sort of between your armpit and your shoulder joint and your neck, you know, so this whole area, and all your Wei Qi auras in front of there. So on either side, armpit, shoulder joint, neck. All your auras on either side. So the Serenity Rivers come in from the front and they're gold, and it's really cool serenity energy from the universe. And if things are whole and safe and unblocked enough here, so not just having your auras whole, but if it's mostly you here, the more it's you here, the more of your gold, of the universe's gold serenity energy you're able to bring in. It's very supportive and nourishing and uplifting, kind of like the good karma energy that you can bring in through your good karma windows. Although the good karma windows that you could bring in gold or other colors, whatever color of energy that you need at that time, you know. But here the Serenity Rivers are typically only gold, the stuff you're bringing in from the universe. It's this gold serenity energy, and it really helps to support and nourish certain meridians that you have here, and just, you know, you in general. But there are some key meridians that, like if we look, say the lung meridian starts right in that area. See there? So those first two lung points are nourished by this river. Let me see if I can. I wonder, maybe there's a different one where it has a bigger image. Yeah, that's a little more expanded image, so I like that better. So let me see there. So that whole area. So the first pericardium, that hot pink meridian right there, PC, that's pericardium. And it helps to protect you. It ends in your middle finger. Helps to protect your heart meridian, which starts in your armpit. So but anyway, so the pericardium meridian right there in hot pink, the lung meridian in like that navy blue that starts near your shoulder joint, but in from there, and goes down your arm. Also your large intestine meridian points right here at the neck. So that the brown, it's we worked it the other day, and I had a nice all at once kind of image right there. So that's the large intestine meridian right there, starts in your index finger. And Izzy was coughing, but he's okay now. So anyway, the large intestine meridian starts in the index finger and goes up the side of the arm, and it goes up the side of the neck, and then ends in this, crosses over and ends in the each side of the nose. So those neck points right there, especially, can be receiving the serenity, the gold serenity energy from the universe. So, but you know, a lot of people have this area really blocked up in front of their in their auras. So, but the more you unblock it, the more it's you, then the more of that gold serenity energy that you can bring in. So we're gonna unblock and nourish with, you know, healing flowers and stuff, this nice serenity river, so that even if it's fully blocked right now, because there's just so much junk right here in all your Wei Qi auras, that we'll unblock it more and nourish, and they'll think of where the river would be and just keep nourishing there and unblocking there. And so you get more and more of your Serenity River working, which is nice. So that's Serenity Rivers, which can nourish all those meridians I mentioned and other ones too. So it helps you not just with serenity, peace of mind, but we'll see in what ways are more noticeable to people. You know, if people have a noticeable shift in their feeling mentally stable and upbeat, or if it more helps with focus, or it more helps with, you know, sleep. Well, we'll see. Obviously it won't be the same for everybody, but it should be very interesting to work on that. Alrighty, that's that. So it's not only about the large intestine meridian. I just wanted to show those two neck points, large intestine meridian, that are assisted by the gold energy coming in through the Serenity River. If your Serenity River is nice and unblocked. which we will be working on. Alrighty, so then the next thing that we will work, which arguably is just as important and big, but not new, is well, first I want to just review okay, so in order to explain the next thing we're doing today, I want to just go over this quickly. Something that we worked 3 days ago in the first healing in this set, in this twin set of healings. And it was towards the very end of the healing, right before the wrap up. And it was like I explained stuff first, and then we did like healing and imagining of abundance. And I explained that basically it's like you put an order out to the universe, but you don't like throw something out there. You just have your intention or your goal. And if your seventh is really healthy and unblocked, and we did work on that, then that goal is in your seventh chakra. Because goals is one of the things that the seventh chakra is in charge of. So then if you have a functioning healthy seventh chakra and it's just doing its job, circulating energy throughout your seventh layer, then it sends out like a resonance and a vibration, which kind of is like an order to the universe of what you would like. And I talked about, realistically, like, so, if you ask for $5 billion from the universe, it's not like it doesn't work if you don't get $5 billion. And that, I cautioned against like the spiritual, I gave my views on that there are sort of healthy parameters, with abundance. And sometimes, like sometimes scarcity motivates people in a way that abundance doesn't. And so there can be times when I think it's more obvious if you're self-employed, which I didn't go into in the 3 days ago, but it's a good example. Like if you're self-employed, especially as a like a new reader healer, and you're working on building your private practice of being a reader healer or private practice being a therapist or whatever, the better your energy is, the more business you get, usually. So you're motivated to keep meditating and keep energy clearing and keep, really respecting your body and your mind and your spirit, because you need the money. And, hopefully you don't like sacrifice your values and just do something that's not as uplifting to you on your spiritual path. You don't just cash in on something that will make a lot of money and, it's not, I mean, maybe you have to pay the bills, but hopefully you can find a way to pay your bills, but also be true to yourself, And so, but anyway, long story short, sometimes having trouble, building income can just motivate you to meditate and learn and really be very sincere in your self-improvement efforts in a way that maybe you wouldn't be so driven by if you, had enough clients and enough money. And so that's sort of the thing. Can you motivate yourself to continue to improve without the scarcity? You know, because then maybe your higher self and your angels and part of you won't have to manifest scarcity in order to motivate yourself. You just stay driven, you know. But anyway, that's of course a digression. Shocker. But anyway. So, but what we talked about more directly on, 3 days ago in the Thursday healing, the healing 1 of 2 in this set is, you put the order out there just by having the goals, thinking about your goals, getting clarity really on what is a healthy goal for you as far as abundance. And, are your angels okay with it? Talk to your angels, in a sincere way, not like a bratty child way. I always laugh because sometimes people are like, I was angry with my angels because they didn't do this, and it's always like, it's so wild to me, that concept. It's not that it never happens that I get frustrated with my angels, but it's pretty unusual because like they're like super smart and evolved, and they definitely have my best interest at heart. So it's kind of weird, in a way, to be like pissed at them. Because usually it's something that you're not understanding, and that's why you're pissed at them. And they're so patient even if you are pissed at them, which is kind of cool. But anyway, another digression. But so you have a realistic abundance goal, one that's, true to yourself and your path and your wellness, all that stuff, right? And then so it vibrates out into the universe, but then the rest of it is receiving. And we worked on I did a walkthrough where, you can imagine that abundance energy that the universe is sending back to you because of the request you put out there, and imagine it as some visual image that you're able to visualize coming towards you. And, you can pick for yourself. Is it, does it look like gold snow? Does it look like, pink rose petals? Does it look like, yellow sunflower petals, whatever, just think of something that, matches, just intuitively pick like, oh, I think it looks like this. And then see, okay, so it's coming towards you, and can you receive it? Like, can it come into your auras, this abundance energy from the universe that matches your request? And, so that's what I needed to explain to then get to what we're doing today. Okay, so if you just got to this part, there's a review section right before this that helps you understand what I'm about to say. So if you don't understand what I'm about to say, check out the section right before it. But so if you imagine what the abundance the universe is sending you as however you want to imagine it, like gold snowflakes, or pink rose petals, or a different color rose petals, or some kind of flower petals, or whatever, like cool sort of imagery you like. Sometimes it doesn't, well, often, it doesn't come in all the way, and it can look like a rejection zone, a rejection dome. Like sometimes it's at the edge of your aura, sometimes it's a pretty thick one, so it's in a lot of the aura's layers, right? But so the abundance is trying to come in, and then it hits the dome, and maybe some filters through, but not a lot. And so what is that rejection dome? The abundance rejection dome. which is just my word of describing how it looks. And it's generally some inner blocks. It could be blocks right in the top of each of those layers or somewhere else. But so we're going to nourish and clear to help melt away the abundance rejection dome. So more of your pink rose petals or whatever can come in. And you can receive more of your abundance from the universe. So I hope that makes sense. And then the third thing so this is the image of the large intestine meridian again, starting in your index finger and ending in the opposite. It comes up your arm and up the front side of your neck, and then it ends in the opposite side of your nose. And I had said, it's definitely a gross oversimplification, but I had said 3 days ago when we worked the large intestine meridian and the kidney meridian, I had said, well, the large intestine meridian helps you with letting go, and the kidney meridian helps you with clearing fear. And so both of those things are awesome, right? And we worked both of them, and they both really helped. But today, I think that the large intestine meridian, for letting go, I think that benefit to abundance is going to be a good thing to work today. So because we're working the receiving part of abundance, right? And sometimes you just have too much of something so it's not as easy to receive new things, even if what you have is like stored grief, and what you want to receive is like a 20% increase in your income. So you would think like, why does one get in the way of the other? But I think in some ways it does, even if maybe that seems illogical. So letting go can for sure help abundance. So let's be clear about that. Because I think some people, they only care about part of the theme, not the rest of the theme. And so they're like, oh, letting go, who cares, So I need to be very upfront to say, letting go can help your abundance, folks. Letting go can also help a ton of things. Energy, safety, quality of sleep, vitality, motivation, mood, 5 billion things, how people react to you socially, lots of things. But I think abundance is something that, like I said, scarcity, I said in the section, 2 sections before this, that scarcity can be very motivational for people. So sometimes people are looking, okay, what's going to help my abundance? God damn it. So we'll work the large intestine meridian again, and the large intestine meridian Wei Qi aura, and we'll find some energy blocks that you can clear within that Wei Qi aura for the large intestine meridian that can help with abundance or help with letting go, and therefore abundance. And also, we'll imagine sort of the speed of flow of this large intestine meridian and look at the slow down parts and heal and unblock and nourish those parts extra, so that you're more able to let go of the stuff you don't want in order to receive the stuff that you do want. So that's the gist of today. So it may be a shorter live stream than usual. We'll see. In part because the Serenity Rivers thing is a pretty big deal. So within that healthy and gentle range of what you do in one healing, the Serenity Rivers is going to be like 70% of like the wow factor of like the healthy and gentle. So then we do have room for the other 2 things, the melt, the receiving the abundance rejection dome through nourishing and unblocking, and but then also this, letting go more. But anyway, then it's like if I put more stuff on just to make the healing longer, it wouldn't be as uplifting, I think, of a healing, because you don't want to do too much. I hope that makes sense. Right. Okay, so just before I start reading the chat comments and then getting ready for the healing and starting the healing, quick sales stuff. Who I'll be healing. If you're a newbie, you don't know, I heal the people in this live stream. I heal the people that purchased this set of 2 healings on my website in advance so that I can prepare and be safe and heal this many people at once in a way that doesn't smush me. So if you would like to be one of the people that I heal in a future set of healings, you can check out my website, jwhealing.com. And you can look at the upcoming themes and dates and just use your intuition and or go by the theme or do them all. Most people do them all, honestly. But there are people, but I always like to leave room also for the people that purchase just a set here and there, on my website. But you could purchase a subscription to do them all, or you could do the here and there method, pick and choose your sets on my website, jwhealing.com. And the upcoming themes for in a week, just a week, it'll be a week and 2 days. It will be April, believe it or not. And the theme for April, I'm very looking forward to: discipline, focus, time management, and productivity, which is like, And I have a new love affair with the word discipline. I used to really dislike that word, having come from a childhood with arguably sadistic parents. I wasn't taught the upside of discipline at all. But there is a really big upside to discipline. It's really amazing. Like that was never clear to me growing up. But there's such a huge benefit if you can build your own discipline to work towards your own goals, even if not every day of working towards those goals is glamorous and fun, to be able to keep going and keep reframing what's happening to you in a positive way, in a motivational way, is huge. And so that's part of what we'll be working on: discipline, focus, time management, and productivity in both of the healing sets for April. So if you want to work it even more, get both sets. If you just want to work it a little, get one of the sets. And then in May, which is around the corner as well, which is blowing my mind, it's about heal your social interactions, self-love, clear facades, and confidence. Woo-woo. So, to the mom that was like, "Oh, can you help my son with his self-esteem at work or something?" That's May. It's coming up. It's around the corner. But yeah, heal your social interactions, self-love, clear facades, and confidence. Those are the themes for the May sets, and they will be fabulous. So that's that. It's on my website, jwhealing.com. Enough said about that. But if you didn't purchase this set of healings, you're of course welcome to watch live or later as a video and heal yourself as you watch. As I do the healing, I say out loud what I'm doing, and it's, you know, I don't explain as much as I used to, which I'm sure all the veterans are thrilled by. But you know, if you're motivated, you can kind of wing it, and you know, even if you're not experiencing energy healing, you can, I think, following along and healing yourself as you listen, you could get a lot out of it. And within like a day and a half, I will make video chapters. So, you know, it'd be easy to hop ahead to one section or the other, and there'll be, in the comment section, there'll be a healing overview and outline. There'll be like an overview and a nutshell version of what we did, and then a chronological outline, to help kind of orient you to, you know, because as you read through the outline, you can use your intuition and be like, okay, that I need to repeat, that I need to repeat, that I need to do every day, that I don't need. But try to use your intuition. Don't just go by, you know, just try to really be centered, and, you know, because you might surprise yourself that there's a technique that you're initially like, why would I do that? But then you use your intuition and you're like, oh yeah, no, my angels want me to do that. So, you know, use your judgment. Okay. That's enough on that. So thank you very much for your chat comments. And if you have not given the stream a thumbs up, but you are open to doing that, please do so. It does help the stream and later the video so that more people get to see it. And that's a good thing. Both so that I can pay my bills. I mean, I don't get advertisements, but, you know, then more people would get healings if they want them. And so that helps me pay my bills. But then also too, you know, a lot of people, they never purchase healing, but they do learn stuff and then they use it in their own self-healing. So that's sort of like, you know, this greater good kind of a plus. So that's nice. All right. I'm looking at the pre-healing chat comments. Thank you everybody for your comment. Feel free to say hi if you wish. Someone says hello from Las Vegas. Hello to you. Someone says we can see and hear you. Thank you. This is hey Janet, can see and hear you from sunny San Francisco, California in the US. 68 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. Well, that's very warm. Wow. But you're in California, so I guess that's not a shocker, but that's nice. Oh, and we get the weather report from Las Vegas, 94 degrees and sunny. That's a little toasty. I did hear that you guys are having a heat wave. Or you're about to have a heat wave or something. I guess you already are if you're at 94 in March. Yay spring. You are not kidding. Woohoo. Someone says Earl Grey tea. Oh, that's right. Thank you for the beverage question. Yay, that's so fun. Earl Grey tea. You know, I forget which one has like that perfumey taste and which one doesn't. Like there's Earl Grey and then there's a different one. And I would always get them mixed up. I don't like the one with the perfumey taste. I like the other one. So someone can help me out on that. But maybe I don't need to know because I try to stay away from caffeine these days for the most part. So maybe I shouldn't know. When I was on caffeinated tea, woo, Assam tea was my favorite drug of choice. Assam tea from India, from the Assam region of India. Someone says, oh, Earl, thank you. My husband says Earl Grey tea is the perfumey one. Do you like Earl Grey tea? He's like, sometimes he likes more perfumey stuff than I do as far as a beverage. Jasmine tea, someone says, and lychee fruit. Yay, we got favorite fruit too. How about that? Jasmine tea. So jasmine green tea, I'm assuming? Wait, jasmine green tea. Is that a thing? Or just jasmine tea? Now I'm confused. I would Google it if I wouldn't make people wait. And lychee fruit. I've never had fresh lychee fruit. I don't even know that I've had it canned, but sounds yummy. It says favorite fruit is strawberries. Strawberries. I thought about growing strawberries and I even ordered some strawberry plants, but then I changed my mind and I never planted them because I don't want to like motivate the deer to come to my yard more because they eat a lot of my stuff. Potentially they can. So I try to limit their visit length. But strawberries are yummy. Someone says tacos, green apples with crunchier organic peanut butter. Green apples and peanut butter. That's cool. I used to like celery and peanut butter and raisins. But I think I'm a little allergic to peanuts. So like my throat will start closing up a little, which is probably not a good thing. So I don't have peanut butter anymore. But back when I did eat peanut butter, it was a tasty combo. Those sound good. Tacos sound good. I like quesadillas. They're yummy. I used to live back in Chicago. Oh, Chicago had so much good food options. I used to get these quesadillas with like they had this green salsa that was actually mild. And so I would have these chicken quesadillas with green salsa. It was so yummy. Honeybush tea, my favorite. All I can eat in fruit is apple compote. Yeah, for me, fruit, I guess I don't know that I can eat a lot now that I think about it. I mean, in the summer, I specifically got late season blueberry bushes so that because I can't eat a lot of raw food, but towards like late summer when it's its hottest out, then I can eat some raw food. So I got varieties of blueberry bushes to plant in our yard that have blueberries like late in the summer so that then I can eat them fresh. But even then, you know, there's a limit to how many I can eat in a day because otherwise I would eat just like oh, they're so yummy. Honeybush tea. I used to drink that a lot. I think for me it's a little warming on the, but maybe that was just rooibos. It's a little warming on my lips, like I would get chapped lips. Apple compote sounds good though. Matcha and blueberries. Yeah. Yeah. I do like green tea. I almost had some today. But someone says hi from Chicago, 34 and rainy. 34. Wow, that's a bit frosty. I love potatoes. Interesting. Pears and grapefruit. I'm a sweet potato person. Regular potatoes, I could take them or leave them. I used to not be able to have them because of their nightshades. Nightshades used to make me depressed the next day. Thank God that's over. That was like the weirdest symptom. Like the day after I would eat nightshades, I would feel depressed. So when I didn't eat the nightshades, then I didn't feel depressed. It was so weird. But now I can eat. So that includes like tomatoes even. But then that stopped. So now I can have tomatoes whenever I want, which is awesome. Anyway, potatoes, pears, and grapefruit. Grapefruit's an interesting one. Isn't grapefruit kind of high in sugar? I don't think I can have it, but it's good for you. Very good for you. Someone says, Betty emojis there. It makes sense. Sharing. It makes sense. I don't know what makes sense, but oh, maybe about the thumbs up stuff. My grandma grew strawberries. She didn't have deer. Oh, interesting. Yeah, but we already have deer, so I think with the deer it would get worse. But that's nice that she was able to. Yeah, it's because here it's more like it's semi-rural. It's not like rural, like 5-acre lots. Although like 5-10 minutes away it is 5-acre lots. Here it's like everyone's got like a little quarter acre, which is, you know, it's nice. I'm grateful, but and then there are like woods that are bordering us, and so there is a significant amount of deer, enough deer that I gotta kind of be careful about what I put in my garden. Otherwise, they'll just stay there all night long and eat everything. This is, I like celery and peanut butter too. Yes, but I used to put the raisins on it too. You know. Alrighty, would they call that ants on a log? Celery and the peanut butter and the raisins. Although, how is that appetizing to call it ants on a log? That was before I was a gardener and I had a very up close knowledge of ants. Now that would not be an appealing image. Alrighty. Well, thanks for the chat comments. So now we'll be quiet for a moment or two, which I will enjoy. I hope you enjoy it as well. Okay, thank you for waiting. So I like to keep the 5 essentials part more interesting rather than like how I did it for so long, where it's just first we'll do grounding, then we'll do aura repair, then we'll do creative ring repair, then we'll do chakra repair, then we'll do the back of head stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do all their 5 essentials in order. So that's boring for me. I mean, the experience version 17-minute video that I made a few months ago, a month or two ago, that's not really boring. I like that video. But anyway, to keep it more exciting and interesting for me and probably for anyone who's a veteran, I'm going to jump around and do it improv style, but then I'm also going to do like, I'll just do like individual chakra healing on one chakra and then do more of 5 essentials and then do another chakra. And then, so it'll kind of like, there'll be some like extra chakra love kind of, you know, chakra attention within the 5 essentials. So should be interesting. All right. So let's do it. That was explained. All right. So basically, for those of you healing yourself, you can make a copy out in front of you of your everything. All your auras, your physical body and your astral body are inside your auras, and then both your groundings, going down to the core of the earth. Right? So you can recreate both your groundings, make them both wide as all your auras, and wide all the way down to the core of the earth. Test out groundings, test red groundings, see if those release well for you right now. Test out orange groundings, see if they release well. Test out yellow groundings, see if they release well. And just go back to whichever of those works best for you right now. And then, with your copy out in front, oh yeah, gold light from your hand chakras and your fingertips. Right? So those are chakras. You set them with your intention that those particular chakras, hand and fingertip chakras, would be a metallic gold color. And so therefore, the energy they're generating naturally by spinning, which they do all the time, unless they're blocked, is gold. Right? And then you use gold from one hand to wash out and unblock the energy centers of the right? And you can also heal your hand as a copy out in front of you if you wish, which could be interesting. You might notice more that way because you're not like overly fixated on the physical look of it. So you're looking more for the energy of it, like in the joints and stuff, and the meridians. Oh, that could be fun. So I'm doing wrists, fingers, blocking the hand chakra and the palm of the hand. All your auras. Gold light through all your auras, melt away the blocks. Auras. Unblock your groundings. You have 2 groundings technically. One for your astral body and your astral body aura, and one for your physical body and your physical body. But if you're present, they're in the same place. You might not see what you do. You can imagine them separately if you want to notice, because sometimes one is way blocked and the other one's fine. So then you might be more able to notice where you need to work that way. It's like we watched this kind of awful, it's like a hate watch sort of, this kind of awful cooking show, Next Level Chef. Well, they like make them run for their food and grab their ingredients super fast. And if one of the people shoves somebody over on the way to grab their ingredients, they're not penalized at all. I mean, it's just so barbaric and unnecessary. Very American in that way. It's just horrible. But anyway, in that show, part of the awfulness is like they have teams, and there can be a really sucky chef, but if another chef in that team had the best dish out of everybody, then the whole team is safe, right? So it's like the shitty chef hides within the winning team for a long time. And so it's kind of like that with grounding and chakras and stuff. When you do everything at once, if you have one chakra that's especially blocked or damaged, or one of your groundings is especially blocked, you might not notice it if you look at both together, because the fabulousness of one of your groundings might make it less obvious that the other grounding is so blocked up. How's that for explaining something in the longest possible way? Oh my gosh. So anyway, unblock grounding. Gold light in the outer surface of your groundings. Melt away connections to other people's groundings, because that's not helpful at all. Melt away the connections into your grounding from other people. Melt the blocks that are in your grounding. You can say, angels, if there's any invasive beings messing with my grounding, can you recycle them? Okay. So I said we were going to bounce around and feature different chakras as we do the 5 essentials. So okay. So the angel showed me a certain sample person and what he needs the most as far as his major chakras. 4th chakra is the winner this time. So that's what we'll do right now. 4th chakra, center of chest, love, self-love, motivation, just awesome stuff, right? So self-care. So just imagine a copy out in front of you, and you can imagine them separately if you want. Your physical body 4th chakra and your astral body 4th chakra, in case one is way more damaged than the other. You don't want the awesomeness of one to obscure the messed upness of the other, right? So this is a chakra shape, if you don't know, an open cylinder, equally open on both ends. That's what I would suggest. Then where you have a copy out in front of you of either both your 4th chakras separately, or imagine both of them together as one copy, one composite copy. And use gold light to melt away blocks and repair and melt cords. Fun fact. The most viewed video that I have of all time to date is this one about cords and cutting cords and melting cords. And it's funny because it's like I filmed it so many years ago in Chicago, and the lighting is like just impressively bad. You know, it's like everything looks yellow, including my face, including the walls that are in reality white. Yeah, they look yellow, everything. But it's the most viewed video because cords, such a sexy search term for people. So anyway, but 4th chakra, melt cords going into the 4th chakra from other people. It is a very common chakra to be corded. If someone's trying to manipulate you, if someone's trying to thank you, sometimes they can be very invasive with that. If someone is trying to, like, you know that expression, I feel your pain, you know, a lot of times they're cording you at the 4th. They don't know they're doing it, of course, but it gets very heavy that way. So you can just melt away cords going into your 4th chakra and scoop out baggage that's healthy and gentle to get rid of, and just melt it away with gold light. Scoop out the baggage, melt it away with gold light. The angels, if there's any invasive beings messing with my 4th chakras, can you recycle them? And if you separate them just to see, you know, who's the bad chef, who's the good chef, which chakra flows better, that your physical 4th or your astral body 4th. Alrighty. So, let's see. Creative rings. 1, 2, 3. Your head. Take a copy out in front of you of your 3 gold creative rings. Melt cords going into them from other people. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings, can you recycle them? Any invasive beings in or around or cording my stuff, my creative rings, can you recycle them? And you can separate out your creative rings, just the copy of them out in front of you. So top one, middle one, bottom one, and just sticky gold wax both sides of them, the underside and the top side of them, and have the wax stick to everything that's not you, that's healthy and gentle to get rid of, and then move the wax off. Angels, here you go. Move the wax off with the junk attached to it. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax. Your creative rings, have the wax stick to the junk. Lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. And go ahead and repair both the top side and the underside of these creative rings. You want the flaps to fall shut. Both your creative rings and your chakra round openings have flaps, and you don't want the flaps to be open and sticking out like this illustration. This is an irritated state. So when you melt the cords, you repair, you unblock enough, then the flaps fall shut. So it's just like a nice smooth round outer surface. Likewise for the chakras, if you melt, you repair, you unblock enough, you melt the cords, then it's like a nice smooth outer surface without flaps sticking. And the whole thing about that is that the flaps are overwhelming. Like it makes it easier for people to cord you. Flaps are sticking out. So that's how things can go from a little overwhelming to a lot overwhelming. If your flaps are like gaping open, it's just really easy for you to get corded and for people and invasive beings to send their energy in, and it's too much. So you're working creative rings, and just flaps fall shut. And then your energy can flow through your creative rings upward, down your layer, all the way around you, and then back up from the bottom up through the body into your chakra, and then fountains up again. That, right? So you want creative rings to be unblocked so that energy of yours can go through the creative. All right, good enough. So then let's see. Let's feature another chakra for kicks. All right, the one that the angels are mentioning is first chakra. So first chakra is at the base of the spine, and that is the most crucial for our theme in this set of healings this month. So safety and abundance and courage, those are first chakra qualities. So all good stuff, right? So you can have 2 copies of your first chakras out in front of you, round opening in the front, round opening in the back. So you have your physical first chakra and your astral body first chakra. Red is a nice color for them. I like the rainbow system. I think it's practical and helpful. So red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple for the 7 chakras. I do have an email handout. If you did want to get that, you just email me and say, can you send me the free 2-page chakra handout? And it's just. But anyway, so first chakras, set them to your favorite shade of red, start healing them, repairing them. Then you can imagine them together too as a composite copy of your physical first and astral first. Let them relax so the flaps fall shut. Bring up red earth energy. Soak your first chakras in red earth energy. Melt cords from people. Angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my first chakras, can you recycle them? Breath. First layer, especially in the back. So your first layer wraps all around you, right? So you have 2 of them, astral body first layer and physical body first layer, right? So let's do the back of the first layer, unblock it a lot. So right behind your body. Lots of gold light, unblock that. So it's just red, flowy, courage, safety, and abundance flowing through your first layer. Angels, if there are any invasive beings in my first layers, can you recycle them? Block the very top, bottom of your first layer. Some people have recurring fears. They can come to your awareness as recurring nightmares, bad dreams, or they can just come to your awareness as like anxieties that you have. But a lot of times they correspond to specific chunks of blocked energy in your first layer of either astral body or physical body or both. So you can just let your imagination or your mind show you where, or your visualization show you where in your first layer would be best for you to unblock, with a little extra time, maybe in front of one of your hips, maybe back here, wherever. Just use your intuition. There's no wrong answer. Lots of gold light, melt away the blocks in your first layers, your auras. And you can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And melt cords from people and melt the blocks. And then what do I want to do? Aura repair. Aura repair. So you have a whole bunch of auras, 17. So astral body aura, physical body aura, and then 15 called Wei Qi auras, which is something that angels showed me. And that is Wei Qi energy is a traditional Chinese medicine concept, and it's your it's a protective energy, like strong boundaries. And so you have 15 separate auras that are your Wei Qi energy, and each one of them nourishes one of your meridians. And that's that. They're gold and flowy and awesome. So you don't want them ripped, though. They won't protect you very well if they're ripped, right? So just check out all your auras, all 17 of them, and look for rips. Maybe there's some rips up top. Maybe there's some rips by, one of your knees that's been feeling a little funny. Maybe there's some rips, right in front of your sinuses, wherever. Just train your awareness to find rips in your auras. And then you could repair them locally like that, but we're going to repair them all at once. So you just imagine a rip and use this as a composite copy rip. So say, okay, this represents all the rips in all my auras, so that as you repair this rip, you're repairing all the rips. Right? So use sticky gold wax and clean it out first, and then you can repair it with more gold light. Right? So sticky gold wax, rid of all the junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax. The wax sticks to everything that's not you, and you lift it all out as a lump. There you go. And get the gold light as deep as you can. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair? Sometimes they jam themselves really deep into the rib. So angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way? So, and then if you have any leftover rips, you could do it the wow way if you're at home. Otherwise, do it the way we just did again, the sticky gold wax way. But the wow way, if you're, at home, which is a nice private location, you imagine a composite copy rip and you say, okay, this represents the leftover rips that I still have. And you just blast it with so much. You keep doing that. And that'll clear people out. And then you say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings anywhere near these rips or in the way of the repair? Keep blasting the gold light. Gold light will like burn up any hard objects, chase out any people in a clean karma way. And it'll start repairing up the auras and also the Wei Qi gold mesh spheres. Or like there are 3 of them around each Wei Qi aura, so just those repair too. And you can redo your gold buffer zones. And there's a video on that if you know about them. You search Janet Wright gold buffer zones, you will find it. Yeah, how I am with way too much caffeine years ago. Okay, let's feature a different chakra. Well, let's repair them all first. So if we repair them all at once, there are a lot of benefits of that. And one of them is that then we can repair all the minor chakras at the same time. The minor chakras are like all the many acupuncture points. Those are little chakras. And then you have other chakras like around your joints and your major energy channels. You have a lot of chakras. So you just make one composite copy image of a chakra and have it represent all your major and minor chakras of your body and spirit. And then just repair all of them at once. Lots of gold light, melt cords, melt blocks, repair. Angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you recycle them? Keep breathing. And this repairs all your major chakras as well as all your minor chakras, all those acupuncture points and all those meridians. So your intention is you want to do what's healthy and gentle to do right now, of course. And you can lift out blocks. You can melt them in place with the gold light, or you can lift out blocks that you want to clear and just melt them with gold light that way. Lift out the blocks, melt them with light that way. So again, you have all your chakras, major and minor chakras, and then you want to lift out energy blocks in the way of your abundance that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. Lift them out, melt them away with gold light. Lift out the energy blocks that are in the way of your safety, both perceived safety and actual safety, and then just melt those away. And then lift out the blocks in the way of your peace of mind. This away. Okay, so that is repairing all your chakras at the same time. So then, the third chakra is an interesting one. I think, the healings that we do next month will benefit those a lot because we're doing time management, productivity, and that's a lot of that is third chakra. So third chakra is right here. But we can do some third chakra pampering right now. So yellow, if you're doing the rainbow system with chakras, so red, orange, yellow for the third chakra is a nice color. So just favorite shade of yellow for both of your third chakras. A lot of gold light. And notice the flaps. Are they sticking out or are they relaxed and shut? So is this a smooth round opening or are there a bunch of flaps sticking out like that? Notice which is which, and if there are flaps sticking out, it's because of some kind of damage or too many cords from other people or invasive being cords. So melt the cords. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my third chakras, can you recycle them? The third chakra round opening is in the front and in the back there. And then you have your back third chakra river and the front third chakra river, right? Coming from that third layer inward, spins around, spins out the back, and then it wraps all around in the third layer. Front. You can unblock your front and back of your third chakra river. And for those of you who have projects that you're like, oh my God, if I could get this project done, you have no idea how great I would feel. So then just, you can have blocks specifically, you know, around like reasons, psychic reasons why you haven't done that project and you haven't even started it or you can't seem to finish it. Melt the blocks around certain productivity blockages that you have that could be in your third chakra rivers. Your productivity blocks in your third chakra rivers. And then your whole, all your third layers, there could be blocks right up top of your third layer. 1, 2, 3. Having to do with projects you can't seem to finish, just melt those blocks. All right, good enough. So as far as the 5 essentials, we've done grounding, we've done aura repair, we've done chakra repair, we've done creative ring repair, so it's just the back of head stuff. Back of head stuff. So go. So from the middle outward, that's GV, the gray line going up the midline. In reality, all these meridians ideally would be a red energy, not these colors here, but just tell them apart. So the one that's gray in the diagram is the governing vessel meridian. And so you can use gold light and unblock that one. You can use gold and red earth energy. Gold light and red earth energy for any meridian healing and any these chakras within the meridian. And the chakras spatially are pretty small, but so you could kind of create a really giant version of it. So like imagine this is your GV meridian this wide, and then, you know, one of your chakras is like in there and it's huge. So yeah, that way it might be more obvious to notice the blocks and melt them away and notice any damage that you have. And you pop out the hard objects and say, angels, if there's any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you recycle them? Well, light, so damage repairs. You can think of GV 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. 20's in the top. So the base of skull right there, 15 and 16, those two, they're dots on the image. They're chakras though, so, but they number them. So 15, 16 is close together, and then 17, and then 18, 19, and 20 is in the top. Right, so you can stick your gold wax, GV 15 to 20. Light, have it stick to everything that's not you in those chakras, GV 15 to 20. So that would be hard objects, energy blocks, cords. Have the wax stick to all that junk and then lift it out at once. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, GV 15 to 20. Everything that's healthy and gentle to get rid of, and move it out. Angels, here you go. And in your in all your auras really, directly behind GV 15 to 20, you can have a lot of blocks. Come through there and melt away the blocks that are around GV 15 to 20. The angels, if there's any invasive beings hooked into these blocks, can you recycle them? Melt away the cords from people and your good karma windows, those are shaped like triple frame windows, like that image right there. A triple frame window or 3 concentric squares, I think is officially what they're called. What that shape is called. But anyway, there are 7 of them, 1 in each aura layer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 in each astral body aura layer. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you do the rainbow system, then those chakras, red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple. So then that would generate your energy in those layers to be those colors. So then your good karma windows would naturally be those colors of your energy, unless they have a lot of junk on top of them, in which case the color would look like the junk color. But if they're nice and clear and whole and everything, then red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple. But use lots of gold light and repair and unblock. Good karma windows. And sometimes there's already invasive energy that has worked its way through. So it's kind of like boring itself into the back of your head. So you can make a big red grounding and ground the base of your skull, back of your neck, core of the earth. Bring up lots of red earth energy. And sometimes when you do this type of work, there'll be some invasive beings that, like, you're getting more present. So then the invasive beings are like half in, half out sometimes. And that feels weird. So you can say, angels, if there's any invasive beings half in, half out of this region, can you recycle them? And you can have energy blocks in your auras behind that region, base of skull region. So just bring gold light through these blocks. You can bring up red earth energy through these blocks. You can say, angels, if there's any invasive beings hooked into these blocks, can you recycle them? Keep using gold light, melt away the people's cords, and melt the block. Keep breathing. Come on in even more into your body, into your toes. Wiggle your toes. And repair them one at a time. Your good karma windows. You don't want them to be leaky. If they're leaky, they are more attractive to invasive energy. So keep repairing them until they do not leak energy. Let's see. I think that's good. That's that. Good job. Good job. So we did the 7 essentials, and then we added in here and there some chakra work. We did the 4th chakra, then we did the 1st chakra, then we 4th chakra, and then 1st chakra and 1st layers, and then if we did another chakra, I forget. Okie doke. Let's see. So the 5 essentials are all finished. Okay, so I explained this in the info descriptions, you know, before the verbally, I explained it before the healing started, and it'll be its own chapter towards the very beginning of the stream. But Serenity Rivers is not something I've talked about before. It's kind of like the front of your space version of Good Karma Windows back here, but maybe kind of cooler even. um, but it's a flow of gold light, of serenity energy from the universe that you kind of automatically bring in if you're present enough and nourished enough here. Then it just coming in. But if you're too blocked and you know you have a lot of boundary issues here, then maybe a lot less gold serenity energy is coming in, or maybe none at all. Which is, you know, one of those not fair things, right? Because if you're all blocked up, that's when you really need serenity. But energy doesn't work that way. You kind of have to get your shit together a little bit in order to, at least in order to, you know, like say, through your intention, say, okay, well, I'm going to let my angels heal me, you know, and because the default is like the more blocked you get, the less you receive. And, you know, and it can kind of snowball. So it's why it's always good to try to celebrate any little things that you accomplish, so that you can build upon that, you know, rather than kicking yourself when you're down and being like, that wasn't enough, I should have done more, I'm a failure, I've failed every day this week, you know. That's not helpful. Because there's already this sort of bias towards, if you're blocked, then getting more blocked. So you have to reverse the bias. You have to find the upside, find the good news, find the small victories you can celebrate and cheer yourself forward, right? So that was an aside about motivation. So hopefully I will make that its own little chapter. People don't miss it. Oh, right. But anyway, so let's just get to work on it. All right, so it's this area. It's like if you find your armpits and then you find your shoulder joint and then you find like the sides of your neck where there are some large intestine points right here. Large intestine, I believe it's 17 and 18. So from here to here to here, like that whole region, that's where the Serenity River can come. Gold light from the universe, serenity energy, very uplifting, very soothing, very calming, very strengthening. So you can just imagine that part of your energy field and see if it's blocked at all or not, and see if where the river should be on either side. So it should be 2 rivers. And if they're not there, just kind of, you know, imagine that you're kind of making room for them, you know, like unblock that area. Because it's not something you have to force. It's just if you're there enough and you nourish enough, then it just kind of happens. It's a natural thing. It's like your chakras spinning. They just spin. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm spinning my chakras. Right? So just imagine that area in front of your Serenity River area, you know, the receiving area, and just all that area, right? And just lots of gold light. You can use gold sandstorm, gold fire, whatever you like. And it's possible that there are some agreements with invasive energies that keep this Serenity River area too blocked. So you can just stack up all the unhealthy spiritual agreements that you have from any time period, but agreements that you still have that are unhealthy that perpetuate this being blocked up, and just melt those agreements. Angels, can you help me clear these and melt the agreements? And then again, imagine your Serenity River areas, and which is this area forward area. The light would come. The universe to nourish these acupuncture points and meridians and just you, your mind. Goodness. So see if there's even a little bit of gold light coming in that way already. Yeah, just keep unblocking to help more and more. Help yourself be open to receiving more of serenity energy from the universe. It's kind of like unblocking your grounding, but here. So you just imagine some blocks and melt them away. So we cleared agreements that might help unblock that area. So then we can also nourish. So you can make a whole bunch of energy healing flowers or other energy presence in another shape if you don't like flowers, you know, balls of colored energy or, you know, whatever, if you prefer a different shape. But just make energy healing flowers out of universal healing energy and set them at whatever vibration you need to nourish your Serenity River area. You know, gold or some rainbow color or both. Set your healing flowers and just say, angels, can you check my flowers? And then give them to your Serenity area. Breath. Okay, so do that again. Make a lot of energy healing flowers. Nourish your Serenity River receiving areas. And say, angels, can you check my flowers? And then give them to your Serenity receiving areas. Mm-hmm. You could have, which is true anywhere really, you can have being tunnels that are just little passageways that allow a bunch of beings to come through, and obviously wherever they are, you don't want them. But you may have in your Serenity River area some being tunnels. So you can just say, angels, if there are any being tunnels anywhere near my Serenity River areas, can you please recycle any invasive beings that have come through the tunnels? And then can you recycle the tunnels? And can you seal it all up? Oh, no more invasive beings can come through there. So again, those are being tunnels. And again, you're giant compared to any being that would bother you. But, you know, little pesky things could come through being tunnels. So you want to recycle all the beings that have already come through being tunnels. Well, the angels do it for you. And then you recycle the tunnels and have the angels seal it all up. Right? And that's something that you can repeat later too. Or you can ask multiple times over, you know, a couple minutes of working the area. Because your angels are going to want you to get more and more present, and then they can do more. So maybe to help you get more present, run gold light up and down your spine. And gold light up and down all your major chakras, from your 7th chakra in the top of your head all the way down to your 1st chakra at the base of your spine. And take a look now at your Serenity Receiving Rivers, you know, from here, from your shoulder joints and the side of your neck and your armpit area, that whole area right there. Forward. Compare the rivers now to how they were, you know, before we started working them. Blocking. And whenever you get to that healthy and gentle amount, you know, you can just do more later. And you can imagine being in your arms, you know, do some gentle stretching if you want. Present in your shoulders and your and we could do a little direct healing on some of the points that benefit from that serenity energy coming in. I'll pull up, there are a bunch of meridians, so I could pull up different videos, but this one, no, I don't want that one. I want, what do I want? What was the one that showed it enlarged? It was this one. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. So there you see the brown meridian that's going up the neck, the front sides of the neck. Maybe. So the large intestine meridian, which we will work actually in even more detail in the next section of this healing. But right there and there. So those are the two chakras I'm talking about. In your neck, right there. 1, 2. So coming up on it, there and there. So those are 18 and 19. Large intestine meridian 18 and 19. So those are 2 points that benefit from this Serenity River energy coming in. You can give them an extra healing right now. Unblock them a little extra. Large intestine 17 and 18. Yeah, because I think 19 and 20 are here. So 17 and 18 are. So again, these chakras in your meridians, the red is the color ideally of the energy of the meridians and the little chakras in them, but they could be black or white or silver or something just because of the energy that's not yours blocking them up. So just use lots of gold light for an unblock. And then the other ones in that region, you can see right there from this diagram, maybe not as well as that one, that image. So that image is nice. So right there, the hot pink one, that's the pericardium meridian, PC for short. pericardium meridian. So that just above the nipple right there is the pericardium 1. And that's one of the points that is benefiting from this flow. So it's not just at the armpit, it's over a little. Definitely that first point can receive this Serenity River energy. So you could just give a little extra healing to pericardium 1. And then lung 1 and 2, those points, it's like a deep blue, like a cobalt blue color right up around here. 1 and 2, lung 1 and 2 in the diagram. So you unblock those. And again, you might want to make like giant versions of those chakras just so you can see if they're blocked and unblock them nicely. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with these chakras, can you recycle them? All right. Good job. Good job. Good job. So that was Serenity Rivers work. We unblocked and nourished them, and then we also did extra healing, direct healing on pericardium 1 and lung 1 and 2 points, and then 1 on the neck, large intestine 17 and 18. So pericardium 1, the first point of it, which was like above the nipple, the hot pink one, and then the lung 1 and 2, those are the cobalt blue ones right here, and then the large intestine 17 right here. And there are other points, you know, in this whole region. You know, there are other shoulder meridians, and there's the heart meridian that starts in the deep part of the armpit and the underside of the arm. But those were ones I just felt like highlighting that could be especially beneficial, could benefit from that gold serenity energy coming in, and from you getting more and more present in. Hope that makes sense. And your Serenity Rivers, as far as location, they're in your Wei Qi auras. They go through all of your Wei Qi auras, receiving gold light from the universe region of your astral body, and when you're present, into your physical body as well. So it will be interesting to see, you know, survey responses after this healing on how people are doing, you know, so I can intuit the effects of that work on people. So let's see. What's next? Okay, so we want to melt any sort of dome of hard energy that you have that repels your abundance coming back to you from the universe that you've kind of ordered up through having an abundance goal and an abundance intention at the 7th chakra level. So you make your abundance goals consciously or subconsciously, but sometimes consciously does help if you think about what your abundance goals are. So then that enhances and strengthens your 7th chakra, having those goals, and it sends out like a request to the universe just by your 7th chakra doing what it does. And but then receiving, so then the universe tries to give you what you've requested, but you might be too blocked. I mean, if we're assuming it's within the realm of like realistic and healthy abundance goals, that your angels feels in your best interest, your higher self feels in your best interest. So there's not some like divine block. It's just sort of inner baggage block to receiving. Then you can look and see, because sometimes it looks like a dome of rejection energy that kind of keeps the abundance energy from coming in. So you can just imagine, your abundance energy coming in from the universe. What does it look like? Have some nice pleasant imagery for it, like rose petals or whatever you like to imagine, gold snow, rose petals of any rainbow color or whatever. And just have, imagine the universe sending it to you. And then if you have a rejection dome, you want to melt the blocks creating that rejection dome. And it's not like a one and done thing, because sometimes you'll get triggered about something and you'll have a new dome, a new rejection dome. But it doesn't have to be a long drawn out thing to clear it. You just imagine, okay, am I getting my pink rose petals for abundance in? No, it's being blocked. Okay, so then I'm just going to put the blocks out in front of me that are creating the rejection dome. So you put out in front of you. So that was all explaining. So now the doing part is what we're doing now. Yeah, okay. So now just imagine, if you've imagined, okay, you do have a rejection dome, an abundance rejection dome at this time, then just put out in front of you copies of whatever baggage, whatever blocked energies in your space causing there to be that abundance rejection dome. And so get all that out in front of you. Say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then, so then it's just a bunch of blocks that may be corded by people. So just melt the cords from people going into the blocks, melt your cords going into the blocks. And then you can blow up the blocks or just keep melting them with gold light till they are gone. And if some of them don't clear, just use lots of gold light, wrap it up. Angels, can you help me with these? Okay, and just check, was that enough to melt your rejection dome and get those rose petals or whatever image, to come in? Your abundance energy from the universe. And just see, and they can be coming in better than before, but not as much as you would like. So again, put out energy blocks out in front of you. Any energy blocks that are causing this abundance rejection phenomenon in your space. And just put the blocks out in front of you and use so much gold light. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? Keep melting with gold light. And just check to see if that had any effect on if the abundance energy is coming in now, whether or not it's coming in, how fast it's coming in. Sometimes you have sometimes you have RAD blocks, resistance, avoidance, and denial blocks, that are causing that rejection dome. And so if you're so into resisting and avoiding this baggage that's in your space, maybe what we just did didn't clear it, because you're like, Mama, that's not there. So So to explicitly say, all right, fine. So are there any rad blocks, any resistance blocks, avoidance blocks, and denial blocks that are in my space that I'm really having a hard time clearing, but they're good to clear right now. Put out all the rad blocks that are creating your abundance rejection dome. And then say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? You could bring up red earth energy, soak it with the red earth energy, and use cold light and melt away cords going into this junk from other people. Melt your own energy out of it. And then just melt all the blocks or blow them up. Sometimes you have invasive helpers that could be in your space, and they do think they're helping you. Maybe they think you're helping you with, you know, some specific part of your life, or just in general. They really mean well, but they're in your space, and their presence in your space is essentially a block. And so that could be causing the abundance rejection dome. So you can just imagine if you have any invasive helpers in your space, and you can just imagine the baggage that's allowing them to be in your space, and just melt that baggage. Because it's not exactly about them, it's that it's so easy for them to be in your space because you're stuck letting them be in your space. So melt your baggage that allows you to enable these invasive helpers to be in your space. So melt any baggage that you have that allows the invasive helpers to be in your space. So some people have more of a weakness towards people that mean well, and some people have more of a weakness towards people that clearly do not mean well, and they get very intimidated by someone who's kind of like domineering and openly insulting and disrespectful to them. And that's just their particular baggage. So we already did cleared the baggage that allows invasive helpers to be in your space. So now we can clear baggage that allows that causes you to not hold your boundaries with the more in your face, perhaps unkind, invasive people, right? So just all the put the baggage out in front of you that enables you to not hold your space with these aggressive, unkind people. Yeah, just melt away the baggage that makes it easy for these people to kind of steamroll you. Melt your inner baggage. You know, sometimes you have such a strong expectation that everyone should be nice that it kind of blows your mind when somebody is just like openly mean and unkind and disrespectful. And then you're kind of like deer in the headlights, like, really? I can't believe you just said that. And then they plow through your space. So again, any baggage, any sort of interpersonal boundaries issue baggage, melt all that away. I mean, obviously, to the extent that's healthy and gentle right now. Interpersonal boundaries related baggage, which of course we'll be working in May in those healings, but we can do something. All right, so now go ahead and check your abundance receiving, you know, as you imagine it from the universe coming towards you, however you like to imagine it, if it's gold snow or some kind of flower petals of a certain rainbow color, or just some other nice way that you like to imagine it. To see, is the universe sending it to you? And if so, how are you receiving it? You know, is it coming through your auras? Are you able to receive it a lot or just a teeny bit? Is it better than before? And sometimes if you focus on the success, so like if it is coming in somewhat, you know, just breathe and just feel how that feels to receive the abundance from the universe. We could clear STEBs, stubborn triggered energy blocks, that trigger when you think of receiving and you imagine yourself receiving abundance from the universe that you've requested. You imagine it actually coming in. What triggers within you? Maybe there's some kind of baggage that triggers within you. So just imagine any of that baggage out in front of you that triggers as you feel yourself receiving abundance from the universe. And my gold light through that baggage. Just the angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? And melt quartz from people and melt the baggage. All right. So we were just extra thorough there, but it may just take, 20 seconds for you to melt your rejection zone. We were just, thorough to cover different scenarios and different reasons that it might not be as optimal as it could be. Your receiving of abundance. But you can check this, later and just use your intuition, clear some blocks, take a deep breath, feel it coming in, and Bob's your uncle. Alrighty, righty, rule. Okay, so let's work letting go as the last major thing that we'll do in this healing. So letting go, there are a lot of different outward maybe physical ways that you can notice, oh yeah, I think I have made some progress with letting go. Sometimes it's like you finally throw out some things, like I was cleaning up in this area where I have grow lights and I put plants that I'm growing to later plant outside, and I had like a bunch of different little junky things there that I could have thrown out 6 months ago and I just left them there. And I was like, fresh off that last healing, I was like, right, I just threw them all out. I didn't throw them all out though. So there's still room for improvement for sure with me. I still have like little areas where it's like, oh yeah, I don't need 80% of that, but I don't want to deal with it. So but that is one way you can tell that you've made some improvement, is if you're able to organize, or you're able to clear things out and throw things out. If you're able to give things away, like clothing you don't wear anymore, or some kind of food items or household appliances that you'll never use anymore, or in the foreseeable future you won't use them. So we're just going to work all that, and in addition we'll work the large intestine meridian, because that also can help letting go, in sort of a high level nutshell, that this large intestine meridian can also help letting go. But first I want to do First, I want to do the clearing fear aspect of letting go. Like someone mentioned in a survey, it's like sometimes you don't organize something and throw stuff out that you clearly don't need because you're afraid you might need it at some point. It's sort of the classic sort of hoarder fear that you're and when you think about it, it's like if you need it, you'll just buy a new one and it'll be so much nicer than the old one was anyway, but sometimes it's like, well, you want to, reuse, recycle, like it's like an ecological thing feeding into it, but sometimes it's really not. You're not going to use it again. You don't need it, and it's not something that has value for you to give it free to somebody else. So it's just weird fear in the way. So you can make a big old blanket out in front of you and put onto it any fear that triggers when you think, oh, should I give that away, or should I throw it out? And it could be fear, it could be guilt, like, oh my God, why did I buy it in the first place? Whatever it is, any baggage, fear, etc. With the etc. Anything that's in the way of you, letting go, organizing, cleaning, giving away stuff you don't need. So put all that baggage out in front of you on a nice big old blanket and say, angels, can you sort through this? And if there's anything that's too much, can you remove it? I think that, is this all healthy and gentle to clear right now? So deep breath while your angels sort through that for you. And then you can say, angels, if there's any invasive beings hooked into any of this stuff, can you recycle them? And then there could be some invasive people hooked into this stuff. But those you can handle yourself. Just lots of cold light, wash everybody out of all this baggage. And again, it's just whatever baggage is keeping you from being able to organize and clear things out and throw things out and reorganize and give things away. Wash everybody out of that baggage. And then you could blow up the baggage, and it could turn into beautiful, colorful confetti as you blow it up like that and fully dissolve. Or it could be you could just melt it away fully with gold light. And you could do it one more time. So big gold blanket out in front of you, put onto it any baggage that you have within you. And it could be someone else's energy in your space too. Anything that keeps you from being able to sort through things, give away stuff, organize stuff, throw stuff out, all that stuff. Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then lots of gold light. Melt quartz from people. Wash everybody out of this junk. And wash yourself out. Your own guilt, your own shame, your own procrastination energy, your own resistance, your own self-judgment, whatever. Right? Your own fears, of course. And just fully melt all the baggage. All right, good. Good job, good job. So, now we could do work the same thing, but with the large intestine meridian. Okay, so large intestine meridian. Here's that handy dandy view of it, right? And it goes from your index finger all the way up your arm, onto your shoulder, up the side of your neck, right? And we were talking about those 2 points, large intestine 17 and 18 right there, right? And then it goes up and over to the side of your nose. So, of course, it's on both sides of that diagram. So go ahead and do direct healing on that meridian of yours. large intestine meridian. And there is a simplistic reason, you know, it's like if you pick, you could just say, well, large intestine meridian helps with letting go. So that's why we're doing it now. Although each point probably helps in like 17 different ways in reality. But we're doing it. So finger all the way up. The neck points that I like so much. Ends in the nose points. And then so your each of the regular 12 meridians have their own Wei Qi aura. So it's all around you. And ideally it's whole and it's a big gold flowy force field with 3 gold mesh spheres within it that keep generating more and more gold lights. 1, 2, 3, the big gold flowy force field. So just imagine that one aura that helps with the large intestine meridian and helps nourish it and protect it. And just think, okay, well, if large intestine meridian helps with letting go, right? You have a significant block in your large intestine meridian that makes it harder to have strength and flow here, right? So just find some blocks, say in the front or the back, whichever, pick one of your large intestine meridian Wei Qi aura, and just find a major block. And then just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this? And then go ahead and melt people out. You can bring up red earth energy, soak this major block in your large intestine meridian Wei Qi aura. Soak it with red earth energy. Use lots of gold light and melt cords. And keep melting with lots of gold light. And let the block fully. And again, if you just did a block in the front, you could do a block in the back for variety or vice versa, or just use your intuition. And again, large intestine meridian Wei Qi aura goes all around you, right? And it's for that large intestine meridian that we have shown right there, right? So Wei Qi aura. Just find a significant block that if you melt it, it'll help you letting go and giving away and organizing and all that goodness. And find that block and just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive energy hooked into this stuff? And lots of gold light. Keep melting it away. All right, good job. And if you have, if you found a block that's not going away, you can just wrap it up in gold light and hand it to your angels. Say, angels, can you help me with that? Another thing, I have been using very physical examples of letting go and giving away. This is so concrete, it's easy to tell. Okay, yeah, I've made progress. But another major aspect of letting go, which sometimes precedes the physical organizing and letting go, is an emotional level letting go, a mental level letting go. So you're letting go of some kind of a mental loop that you keep going through, or some kind of a way in which, like, sometimes your thoughts, you make an excuse. You think of an external situation, like, well, I can't do it because of this. And sometimes that's like completely legit, you know? But sometimes it's more of like, it's like your brain just kind of gets stuck on an external situation and you think that there's nothing that can be done where there's other stuff that could be done. So it's like you're kind of you kind of trick yourself into feeling hopeless or helpless about the situation. And so sometimes that can be something mentally that you need to let go of. Some kind of limit that is you've decided, well, yeah, I'm just screwed. You know. So there could be something like that. There could be something emotionally that you need to let go of, like old grief or old attachment to a person, that it's like it's time for you to let go of whatever, like thinking about something that you did or something that somebody said to you, and it's just time for you to let go and move forward. So that is an aspect. So we can look at again your let's just do it as blanket exercise, because it could be in a whole bunch of different auras and different locations. So just make a big old blanket out in front of you and pile onto it any emotional or mental blocks that you have that you need to let go of, right? And like I said, sometimes that does help you to see solutions that you wouldn't have imagined before, which is always kind of. So any emotional or mental blocks that you can let go of that are really helpful for you to let go of, put those on the blanket and say, angels, can you search through this and see if it's all healthy and gentle for me to clear right now? And angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into this stuff? And then lots of gold light, melt cords from people. You can bring up red earth energy, soak the pile in red earth energy, gold light, and melt the pile. Also, too, there could be some agreements that you have, some unhealthy agreements that make it harder for you to let go on a physical level, emotional or mental letting go level. And it could be some really silly agreement, like, I was 5 and me and my sister agreed that, this is how we were going to play the game. And then she didn't play it that way. And so now I'm mad at her for like 50 years of my life, So they tend to be like really silly agreements. But, just stack up any unhealthy agreements that are preventing you from letting go on an emotional or mental level in a way that, would be really healthy and gentle and awesome for you to do, right? So you will have your angels check. Don't worry about it. So pile up any unhealthy agreements in the way of you letting go on any level and say, angels, can you double check this pile? Make sure I should melt all these agreements. So then any that are left over are truly unhealthy and truly good to melt right now. And I just use lots of gold light and melt them away. All right. So again, blanket exercise, big gold blanket out in front of you, pile onto it anything that's preventing you from letting go, either on a physical level, like giving away, organizing, throwing out, or on an emotional level or a mental level. And again, you can have your angels check. Angels, can you double check these piles, make sure they're healthy and gentle to clear right now? Deep breath. Angels, can you check the piles and recycle any invasive energy that is hooked into this stuff? Breath while your angels do that for you. And then bring up red earth energy. Soak all this baggage in red earth energy from the core of the earth. And use gold light, melt cords from people, melt cords from yourself, going into all this junk. And just keep melting it. And you can blow it up fully, or you can keep melting it with gold light till it's all gone. And if you have any leftover, you can wrap it up in gold light and give it to your angels. Say, angels, can you help me with this? All right, good job, good job. Okay, so in the last healing, and often we unblock your spiritual path. So your spiritual path, you can imagine it, it's a road that's just for you, and it represents what you're meant to learn and experience in this lifetime. However, it can also have on it unnecessary and unhealthy difficulties and challenges just because people dump shit in your space, or you're blocked up, and so you're over dramatizing in a way that is not necessary for your learning and in your path in this life. So you can unblock the path and get people off of it, so that then it's an easier go of it. You're able to more enjoy the journey and still learn what you're meant to learn. And you still have challenges that you're meant to have, but you don't have challenges that are just dumb stuff that unnecessary hardship, doesn't benefit you. It wasn't like part of your learning or karma that you're paying back or anything. It's like the silly, unhealthy stuff. You can clear that off your path, right? In front of you, unblock in front of you, and melt away behind you stuff you're hauling forward with you on your path that is unnecessary and unhealthy, right? So there's that. But then you can imagine a path that's specifically for something you're working on, like your spiritual path for productivity, or your spiritual path for quality of sleep. So it's like you're just seeing the issues that are impacting your quality of sleep or your productivity, and for abundance. So that's what we'll do now. We'll do the spiritual path, just what you're just what's relevant to your abundance, and see, are you on your spiritual path for abundance? Are you moving forward? Are you looking forward? Is it uncluttered? And does it have a nice gold protective flowy force field around it? And so we'll unblock and melt unnecessary burdens and strengthen that gold protective force. Hope that makes sense. Let's do it. Okay. So just imagine a spiritual path that's just for you, that represents what you're meant to learn and experience in this life, but then allow it to change to represent the issues specific to your abundance in this lifetime, and what you're meant to learn and experience in this lifetime regarding abundance. And just look at that. Are you on your path as far as abundance? Are you looking forward on your path? Are you moving forward on your path? And if not, you can give that little part of you a healing. You can unblock any junk that you're trying to haul forward with you that's unnecessary. Just melt it away with gold light. Any burdens that are unhealthy that you're trying to drag forward, or that are kind of holding you back, trying to move forward on your abundance path. And check out the path ahead of you on your abundance path, and see, do you have a nice gold flowy force field protecting your path? If not, you can use a lot of gold light so it recreates itself. And you can melt away any unnecessary and unhealthy obstacles ahead of you on your abundance path. And you can have people, blockading your abundance path. So you just melt them away, so that they're not on your spiritual abundance path. And you can nourish your spiritual abundance path. Just make energy healing flowers for yourself, whatever gold or rainbow colors of universal healing energy that you feel would nourish you and your learning about abundance and your experience of abundance in this lifetime. And say, angels, can you check my flowers? And then give those flowers to yourself on your path. And if you need any encouragement for yourself, maybe more presence, or just like talk to this part of you and give yourself some kind of upbeat encouragement. And again, double check that gold flowy force field. So it's not so easy for people to dump on this path and kind of roadblock you. Make a nice, strong, full, flowy gold force field around your abundance path. And maybe you have some inner baggage that's causing a weird, sort of hardship on this path. So just imagine like piles of baggage that you have that might be limiting your abundance. And just melt some of that baggage. You could say angels, is this too much to clear right now as you do it? Go ahead, melt your abundance baggage and see if that helps make it a more easy and enjoyable journey forward on your abundance path. All right. Good job. Good job. Good job. Woo. So we'll wrap up the healing. I'm thinking of something. Hold on. Okay. All right. So let's do it. All right. So let's first check your grounding. You can recreate it. 2 groundings, red or orange or yellow, both the same color, all the way down to the core of the earth, nice and wide. And bring them up high as your 3rd chakra below your sternum there. And that is so it gives extra support not only to your 1st chakra, but also your 2nd chakra and your 3rd chakra. And nice and wide so all your auras get to release as much. Right? And then you have a copy out in front of you. Unblock your grounding, unblock all your auras. Unblock your groundings beneath your feet. I'm sorry, your auras beneath your feet. Your auras wrap all around you, including beneath your feet, right? So you want that part to be unblocked. Especially like your 1st and 2nd layer, right around ankles and the bottom of the feet can get blocked. So you can spend a little extra time on the 1st and 2nd layers around your physical and astral body feet, especially under your feet. And of course, your grounding. All right. And then clear STEBs, we'll get that done. So you can use a blanket or not, big gold blanket out in front of you, and just pile onto it any stubborn triggered energy blocks, STEBs, stubborn triggered energy blocks. So any blocks that are still triggered, Pile them out in front of you, pile copies of them out in front of you, and bring up red earth energy. Soak them in red earth energy. You say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings courting to this junk? And then melt quartz from people courting into this junk. You can say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And that way they'll sort through it for you. And if anything's too much, they'll remove it. And go ahead and melt it all. Melt everybody's energy out of these blocks. And then usually at that point, the blocks melt very easily. But if not, you could blow them up. And if they're still there, you can wrap them up in gold light and give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? All right. And since we're in the mood to clear blocks, rad blocks, we had already done that in one section, but I just saw that it could be helpful again, particularly for some of the kids I'm healing. It's easy to resist, like your teachers or authority figures, your parents, and for adults, if you are an employee in a company, it's easy to resist your bosses, or maybe your parents or some siblings. Like, so authority figures, power differentials, it's easy to get into resistance about that stuff. So you can put out in front of you any energy blocks that cause you to be in resistance to things you can't control, like wars, global wars, stuff like that. Of course, you can, be a political activist, but to some extent, there are things that you can't stop from happening, in the world. So put out in front of you all the resistance, avoidance, and denial blocks that you have about any of it, and just use lots of gold light and melt it away. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this stuff, can you recycle it? Breath. All right. And calling back your energy is super easy to do. We can wrap up with that. So you can make a gold magnet of whatever shape you like. So a big gold sphere or a gold U-shaped magnet like in the cartoons, or a gold pyramid or whatever you like, gold cube, and use it like a magnet with your intention, and you just use it to call back your energy from wherever. So it could be like, say somebody owes you money, and so it's abundance related, you're kind of in their space trying to get them to pay you. That's not going to help the situation. It's bad karma for you to be in their space, and it's like, it's certainly not going to help your abundance to be in other people's space, right? So call your energy back from wherever it is. Maybe someone took your abundance energy, right? So just call back all your abundance energy, your peacefulness, your safety energy, any other life force of yours, unique life force of yours that maybe you put in the future or left in the past, or someone borrowed it and didn't give it back. So just call all that back into your gold magnet. And you can say, angels, can you help me clean this out? And just bring gold light through it while your angels clean it out too. And then you can just give yourself back your own. Okay, so one more time, big gold magnet. You don't have to let it expand as it brings back energy, but I kind of think that's fun. So you can let it get bigger and bigger, bigger, bigger as it calls back all your energy from wherever. And use gold light from your hands to clean off the energy, and say, angels, can you help me clean off all this energy of mine? And then give yourself back your. And you can say hi to your angels and ask your angels for help with your abundance and your safety and your peace. Angels, can you please help me with abundance, safety, and peace? Deep breath. Angels, can you please help me wrap up this healing? All right, good job. That's a healing. You're a rock star. Woo, 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 woo. Yay. Alrighty. Okay, so we'll take a quick bathroom break and then a quick stretch break before we do a little chit chat. And I don't want the chit chat to be super long. So it's possible that I may not get to some of your comments, in which case you could repost it under the video when it, at the end of the stream when it becomes a video. And eventually I would get to it and post a reply comment to your video comment. So I will get rid of the camera while I am away, and then I'll turn the camera back on and just do a stretch or two before we do the post-healing chat. Let's see. There we go. All right, I'll be back soon. Okie doke, I'm back. I'm going to do a moment of stretching. You could too. Don't bother copying me though. Do whatever stretches you need to do if you want. Hello, hello, hello. Hope you had a good break. Ta-da. Okie dokie. I'm going to look for comments and read as many as I have time for. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. Your comments do help the YouTube to like the video, yada yada. Someone says, awesome, you can eat tomatoes now. Yeah, that was a huge surprise. I talked about it like 2 years ago when I realized it. It was really exciting. Because I grew tomatoes one year, just like one of the places I get seeds from, they ordered, they give a free seed packet sometimes if you order a bunch of seeds at once. And there was a tomato packet they gave me for free, and my husband likes tomatoes and he can eat them. And so I thought, well, okay, for him, I'll grow tomatoes. I had never grown tomatoes before. And then it turns out I could eat them too. So it was a really nice way to discover that. Cool. With a salt shaker. Oh. As kids, my cousin Joyce and I would wash and eat tomatoes from her family garden by the bucket with a salt shaker. Oh, wow. Dang. There are some varieties of tomatoes, it seems, that are more acidic than others. And sometimes I'll get like, it'll be too acid for my tummy because I end up eating a lot of them like during late in the season when our tomatoes finally start ripening. So I had to stop growing these, stop eating these cherry tomatoes that I was growing because they were more acidic. And I would notice like on days when I kept eating those ones that like my, I would get a little acid reflux. So, but there's this one variety that I grow that is not too acidic. So I can have those every day and I don't have a problem. So that's great. Someone says funny cooking show. Oh yeah, that weird American cooking show, the Next Level Chef. So barbaric. It's so unnecessarily barbaric. Like Survivor meets cooking shows. Someone says, "Hi, Janet. I've been feeling very blank and disconnected since yesterday, and really lonely. Lonely fourth chakra blocks. Trying to get back to productivity. Glad to get the healing." Well, I'm sorry to hear that you were having trouble. I'm curious what you tried, or if you were just feeling so blah that you weren't able to motivate yourself to try anything. But yeah, it looks like you were off your path. So you could say something like, angels, can you help me get back on my spiritual path? I'm going to let my angels help me get back on track. Yeah, that kind of idea. It seems like you were having some boundary issues, and then you got some aura damage and chakra damage. So I think you get to a point where, like, it's hard for you to be feeling really crappy and then lift yourself up from that. If you're only feeling moderately crappy, you're getting much better at lifting yourself up, and being like, okay, I need to heal. Just let me 5 minutes heal and let me get back to work or something, But if you feel like, so if you feel like 50% crappy, you're way better at doing something about it in a positive direction. But if you feel like more than 50% crappy, that's still your weak zone where, it is kind of like your mind goes blank, I guess, you can't go wrong with self-nurturing, like just hug yourself, try to be nice to yourself, because that's always the sort of the underlying aspect of self-healing is just being nice to yourself, being kind, being nurturing to yourself. So, but yeah, you are much better at it than you used to be. Much, much better. Someone says, "Thank you, Janet, for the chakra by email." Yes. Oh, did I email you that? Yeah, so what you're referring to is an email handout, a 2-page chakra handout. That's no charge. It's just an email attachment that has like information on each of the 7 chakras, their ideal color, location, what each one helps you with, that kind of thing. So yeah, everyone's free to email me for that if you haven't gotten it, and if you think that might be nice. And but you have to ask for it, just because I don't hand it to everybody. If you don't want it, I wouldn't think of giving it to you. But if you say, "Hey, Janet, hi, can I have a free 2-page chakra handout?" Then of course I would send it to you, no problem. Same thing with my news email list. Like, I send out emails on the 15th every month to people on my news email list, but you have to explicitly say, "Can you please add me to your news email list?" Because I don't want to be a spammer. And if people end up putting your stuff in a spam folder, then like Big Brother, Google, and Hotmail and stuff puts you on like a spammer list. And then all your clients that do want your emails, it's like the email goes to the spam folder, even though they want your email. So I'm very careful about who gets my news email. So you just explicitly ask, "Can I get your news email? Can I get your free 2-page chakra handout?" And then of course I would do it. Someone says, "Feeling much better. Thanks." Yay. Hello to you from Qatar. Good. I'm glad. Someone says, "Find the pony in the poop. My mom would say to cheer me on." Oh, I see. So that's like a bright side kind of a thing. Yeah, see, I can't use any expressions relating to poop because I'm very visual. So it's like, oh, I gotta clear that image out. Think of bananas or watermelon or daisies or something or kittens. So we can have anyone has a similar visualization issue, I'll bring up the kittens. Where are the kittens? Kittens. Oh, boo, I can't find my kittens. Ah, here we go. I found the kittens. Yay! The kittens have been located. Alrighty. Doo-doo-dee-doo. Aren't they adorable? Oh, they're so cute. So cute. Okie doke. So, see what else. Someone says Serenity Rivers block. Yeah. We unblocked Serenity Rivers. I find snarky people in video production and entertainment. Interesting. I don't know what that's related to, but okay. There was probably something that I said at the moment that you were responding to. Someone says, I just have deep embedded fears. Physical pain holds me back from doing this too. I think you said that during the giving away part. Yeah, physical pain can be a thing, of course. But there are we talked about going over the non-physical ways of letting go and giving away and organizing, and like journaling could be a way of organizing your thoughts, and you can make a list of habits you can let go of, or things that you can let go of that are non-physical, that are more mental or emotional. Like, I'm gonna let go of letting this situation bother me, or I'm gonna let go of blah blah blah. So you can work on that stuff. Sometimes too, you can say, I'm going to allow myself to discover a solution. Because sometimes, if you have physical pain issues, but say like there's somebody who wants your couch, and they're trustworthy, so that you can have them come for free and take your damn couch, or like some donation places, they'll come and get the stuff for you. So sometimes there's like workarounds that you're just not like thinking of at the time. But sometimes it's more like once you clear the deeper stuff, the fear and the psychological stuff, then you'll find that you can do the little baby steps on the physical level better. So yeah. So I'd say work what you can work. There's always some angle or something, the non-physical route, or the teeny baby steps on the physical route, or, whatever. Just say, angels, help me find a solution. That kind of idea. I'm always surprised at like things that I'll realize that it's like, oh, of course. But like, for years I didn't think about it, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh yeah. Like, I'll think something is way more complicated than it really is, and finally I realized like, oh. So many times there are solutions that at the moment you're not evolved enough to realize. So you can kind of work that sort of glass half full angle, that there could be solutions that you're evolving towards. But yes, deep embedded fears. We worked in the don't think I'm healing you. I think you're new to me and my stuff, which is fine. Welcome, welcome. But in the healing 3 days ago, the first healing of 2, we worked the kidney meridian and the large intestine meridian, and kidney meridian can help with clearing anxiety and fear and feeling more courage. So maybe if you wanted to look up the section in the healing 1 of 2 that we did 3 days ago that works the kidney meridian. And here's a quick image of the kidney meridian. Starts in the bottom of the foot and goes all the way up the inner leg to and just near the collarbone. So you could imagine the Wei Qi auras for that and unblock those, and you can imagine, the first point right there under your foot, on the underside of your foot, and heal that. But anyway, there's a walkthrough of it in the 1 of 2 healing. And there's a playlist for all the, so let's say if someone hears this, 2 years from now, and they're like, well, how the heck am I going to find the video of your healing 3 days ago? There is a playlist of all the March 2026 healings, so healings this month, in the info section of this live stream and/or later this video. It'll say March 2026 healings, safety, abundance, peace. And you can look for the 1 of 2 healing, and then the chapter where we did kidney and large intestine healing. Alrighty. Hope that helps. But I have a lot of stuff about clearing fear. It's kind of a pet project of mine. But really, anything, first chakra at the base of the spine helps with abundance and courage and safety. So imbalances in the first chakra lead to, fearfulness. So any of my videos that help with abundance or clear fear, they're very common themes that we work in these healings. So if you search Janet Wright healing clear fear or Janet Wright healing abundance, there's a lot of different ones. Janet Wright healing letting go, probably a lot too. All right, someone says finger to neck points. Yes, large intestine goes from the finger to the neck to the right beside the nose. Right there. Ta-da. Someone says, thank you, Janet. Feeling mellow and less sleepy. Oh, that's nice. Really liked the letting go work and clear abundance path. I have a really hard time giving away things. So excited to work this more. Sometimes I feel like giving away things is like giving away a part of myself. Should I energetically? Yeah, so this is interesting. So So we had talked about giving away just before this, but this question is specifically about giving away. You're saying that you have a really hard time giving away things. I feel like giving away things is like giving away a part of myself. Should I be energetically washing out stuff before I give it away? So, 2 things about that. One is, well, essentially, yes. Short answer, yes. If you have that sense of like, oh, I feel like I'm giving away a part of myself, then yeah, it is possible that you have some of your energy in the object. And that is partially why people can get so rooted in their physical possessions, because their energy's in them. Their unique life force is sitting in the possession. Not all of it, of course, but enough that they feel overly attached to it, like it's one of their kids or something. So yeah, you can just make a separate grounding for like if you have like a whole section of a countertop that you need to clean off, just bring up red earth energy, bring up yellow earth energy, bring up orange earth energy, just gold light, wash everybody out of that section. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in this section, can you recycle them? And then you can just clear your own baggage that triggers when you're thinking of, cleaning up that area. And then you can too think of like the baby steps, like, okay, well, what part of that do I want to deal with right now? Because maybe there's like 2 objects there that you want to deal with right now in that section that you're thinking of your countertop or something. And that is legitimate, to just do something. Something is usually better than nothing. I mean, unless it's just not the right time and you're distracting yourself and there's something else that you really need to be doing, like your taxes or something. Not talking about me personally at all. But so if there is, if it is good for you to do some progress on it today, is there a small amount that's like really super doable, and maybe you're thinking too big. Because sometimes if you just do small amounts over and over, it's very helpful and beneficial, and you get through stuff, and it's not that serious. So but yeah, clearing your energy out is a big thing. Hoarders, if you're at the level where you think like, okay, this is a little bit hoardy of me, I'm hoarding stuff. It's like a kind of a thing. Then you may have, the object may be overly representative to you of life experiences. Like, I mean, you can keep stuff for sentimental reasons, and sometimes that's perfectly fine, to have some, maybe a shirt reminds you of a certain time in your life and you're like, yeah, that's a really good memory, so I want to keep the shirt. So keep the shirt, But you may have stuff that it's like, okay, I know I need to get rid of this. It's like in the way, I don't want to keep it anymore, but it does remind me of a certain time in my life. Well, then, yes, wash your energy out of it. And you could, like an Akashic record upload sometimes, if you just, like heal your 7th chakra and just, say, angels, help me to really be done with this object, and then you might be, sometimes it looks like gold confetti going up your personal Akashic records, or Akashic records, however you pronounce it. But so it might look like, gold confetti going upward to your Akashic records. If you're just kind of like getting closure on a certain experience, and so then you don't have to kind of have your energy still in that experience. You can be done with it for now and file away the learning. So you keep the learning, but you could give away the object. You don't have to sometimes, sometimes it's cute to keep something, that reminds you of a certain time period. But if obviously, you have too big a problem with it, then yeah, maybe heal your 7th and, ask your angels to help you to get real closure, and then probably as a result of that, you'll do a little Akashic record upload, just naturally, and release stuff up to your Akashic records that you don't need to keep so present in your space all the time. So could be a little of both. Your energy's in an object, and you maybe need to do some Akashic record uploads with your angel's help so that you your boy took off. Alrighty. Someone says, hi, Janet. Thanks for the help. Can you tell me, when I was 3 years old, I didn't want to go number 2 at all for a very long time. If I was resisting letting go or something. And you mentioned that because of we're working large intestine, meridian, which is also letting go. Seems like there is a connection. Thanks. And you mentioned your initials. Thank you very much. Oh, is that you? Oh, I was wondering. Yeah. Is that a new YouTube idea of yours? Hmm. It doesn't seem like a letting go thing. It seems like a fear thing. Like there was some fear triggered. Like you didn't. It could be that you. Sometimes people are afraid of toilet bowls and like that whole concept. Maybe they had a. It seems like you had some past life fears of like, because going number 2 takes longer, and you're kind of in a, you're kind of indisposed for that time period, so it looks like you had some lifetime where you were like a warrior and you the other side of the battle was winning but you had to go number 2 and it was very dangerous for you to stop to go number 2. So it's like it's kind of emblazoned in your mind that going number 2 is dangerous. Like it takes too long. It's dangerous. That's what it seems like, that there was some kind of past life fear trauma thing with it. Like a friend of yours who was a fellow warrior, actually they snuck up on him when he was going number 2 and that's how his exit was, from the lifetime. So it's just kind of seems, so you could just, do blanket exercise, big gold blanket, put on it all your trauma energy blocks around, going number 2 and, your warrior past lives, any leftover trauma blocks or fear blocks from your warrior lives, and then just, work on clearing those, melt them away. But that's interesting. I'm sure for some people it could be a letting go problem, but it doesn't seem like for you it was. It was a past life memory, trauma memory thing. That's what it looks like. Hope that helps. Someone says, love the force field for the spiritual path. Never thought of that, which is so funny because I've mentioned that many times, but it's not uncommon that finally something will kind of register, even though I've said it, like you've heard me say it probably like 24 times at least. But I'm glad that it clicked for you this time. That's great. I saw myself walking forward, but noticed I am talking to someone while I move ahead. I think those are my angels. It didn't feel like it at first, but now the individual looks lighter and encouraging. Thank you for the twin set. When you're walking forward, yeah, I mean, typically what you'd want to see is like as you're moving forward, you can talk, but they wouldn't be on your path. They'd be like next to your path, and it looks like it was it's your spirit guide. And so I think that's why you're like, wait, is that a person? Because spirit guides are human being spirits. They're not in the lifetime though, and they were matched up, by the angels for you. So you may not have known them ever in a lifetime. They're just really, it's a good match for you. And they're in between lifetimes and they volunteered to be somebody's spirit guide. And so it looks like that's who you were talking to, that you were able to be aware of and be like, oh, wow, I'm talking to someone. What's that? Yeah, that's you talking to your spirit guide as you move forward on your path. But yeah, it's not uncommon that it's very fun to talk to your spirit guide. I mean, many people are not conscious of that, but if you are conscious of it, it's kind of fun because they're matched to you, so they're like, it's like a nice social, easy thing. Yeah, thank you for the twin set. You're very welcome. Someone said, hi, Janet. Did not get a healing, but wanted your feedback. I've been feeling frenetic and on lots of meds. I am way out of my body. Am I way out of my body these days? I think I'm not even in my 7th. Yeah, I was actually thinking of you earlier today, so I think you were probably saying hi earlier. Right now, you're in your 7th and your 6th, but beyond that, it's kind of hard for you right now. You have some cracks in the back of 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2 and 1. So in the back of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's why you're in 7 and you're in 6, but it's not easy because of the damage in your 6th chakra. So you could just do lots of repair and, you know, just like gold fire up and down your spine, especially in the back, because that's where the damage looks to be. And then some of your auras are ripped away back there. So it's sort of like a big valley when it should be a big bubble back there. So if your motivation is low, but you know you need repair, then you can like will yourself to let your angels help you, you know, because sometimes the stress and everything, it's like you're just like, you know, like trying to keep the bad stuff out, you know, but that resistance wall you put up can block angel help, and your angels are always trying to help. And, you know, so just be like, okay, I'm going to let my angels help me with repair. I'm going to let my angels help me repair my chakras. I'm going to let my angels help me repair my auras. You're on your path, but you're looking to like the side. You're not looking forward on your path. But probably once you let your angels help you repair your chakras and the backs of your auras, then you'll probably be looking forward at least. And then you can just say, I'm going to let my angels help me move forward on my path. You know, like imagine you're holding your angels' hands, but angels specifically. Holding my angels' hands, I'm letting my angels help walk me forward on my path. You know, just so you can get better footing, kind of. Yeah, and you know, you can feel free to watch these live streams, you know, put them on your calendar even if you're not receiving the healings. You know, put the live streams on your calendar, you know, try to catch them live, or you know, you can try to listen to them later in the background, you know, just for the vibes of it, just to like, and you can say, you know, even as you're just listening as you make your dinner or something, just say, angels, can you help me? Angels, can you give me this kind of healing that they're doing in the healing? You know, so then as you're listening, your angels are doing this stuff, helping you to, you know, repair your chakras or whatever, you know. I mean, there are workarounds if you can't afford healings. It seems like in your sleep, you haven't been as open to letting your angels heal you. You just look like you just get so like, you know, you're like this, you know, crouched down, like blocking, but accidentally that means you're blocking your angel. So just think about like, okay, flow is strength. You know, I need flow. I'm going to have flow. I'm going to let my energy flow. I'm going to, you know, rivers, you know, I'm going to let my angels heal me. I'm going to let my energy flow within my space. I'm going to let myself repair. I'm going to let myself recharge, you know, and it's not instantaneous, but it'll get you headed in the right direction. So maybe you could write that stuff down, or, you know, create your own versions. It's not like the words are magical or anything, you know, but maybe, you know, go with like affirmations like that to kind of reset your brain out of like that resistance blocking angel help stuff. So I hope that helps. You could do it. You are in your 7th. Yeah. You are in your 7th. Yeah. Even, yeah, in the last 3 days, you are in your 7th. There was, yeah, like, okay, so Sunday, Saturday, Friday, like early Thursday, you weren't even in your 7th. Last Wednesday, you weren't in your 7th. Last Tuesday, you were not in even your 7th. But then before that, you were. So it's like you go airborne fully and then you come back and then you, but the repair, let your angels help you repair because stuff's just too ripped up. Your grounding is usually not that bad. It's wide. It does flow. It's just things are too ripped up. And so chakra repair, aura repair, that kind of thing. And letting your angels help you. I hope that makes sense. You can do it. Yeah, see now you're even just with those ideas, you're so maybe, like okay, so that's a marker for you to help to find that section that I was talking to you and saying all that. If you want to re-listen to it later, it'll be like 2 or 3 minutes before me typing that. Maybe I'll make a chapter that for that, but I can't guarantee that. So, but it's just like the last 5 minutes, and you could re-listen to it if you want. But yeah, like even just that last 5 minutes of listening to that, now you're looking forward and moving forward on your path, and you're letting your angels repair stuff. So it's like only half as ripped up in the back now, and your chakras are still damaged, but not quite as much in the back. So yeah, you can do it. Of course, you could do any of the self-healing videos in the short video playlist, like chakra repair video that's like 6 minutes and stuff. But sometimes, you're so stuck that you don't even have motivation for that. So that's why I listed all the other things you could do. All right. So good luck. You can do it. Thanks for the confetti emojis. Someone says, I get so excited when you introduce new techniques. My inner child feels like I have a new toy. LOL. So I enjoyed the Serenity Rivers and Melt Abundance Rejection Dome. I found hubby's energy. He's something winner. It's been 2 days. I have a cough and working Wei Chi auras in specific lung meridian. So I enjoyed the letting go part of the large intestine meridian. Anything else I am missing? It's for the wind, heat, cough. Well, if it's a heat cough, that would mean you have a sore throat as opposed to just a scratchy throat. So that's my question. Do you have a sore throat or do you just have an itchy cough? If it's an itchy cough, then it's more of a cold wind. If it's a sore throat, then it's a hot wind. Well, I don't know about the wind part. I get confused with that, but the heat and cold part, I'm clear. But anyway, that CV23, I think it is, the CV point that's like right under your chin there on your neck. That one seems really like crushed. So maybe make a big version of it and get the spears out of it and repair it more and have the angels recycle invasive beings blocking the repair. It doesn't seem like that one's getting fully repaired, which would be so yeah, CV23 right there. Everyone, if you don't know, if someone doesn't know, that's that gray midline one going up, that's CV, conception vessel meridian, which helps with all the yin meridian. Right here, the orange lines, the kidney meridian. That's not so bad. Your stomach meridian. Yeah, there's some funniness there too. Yeah, as it goes down, your stomach meridian, the green line, for those that don't know, that's that green line there. There's some funniness there as it goes in front of your lungs. The points are really compressed right there. So it looks like you have some blocks in the front of your stomach meridian, Wei Qi aura, like bigger ones. So I would say work the CV23 and, you know, repair. And then these points that are above the nipples where the stomach meridian goes up and down. Yeah, that helps. But yeah, I'm curious if it's a inner cold or inner heat with your cough. Is it sore or just scratchy? Someone says feeling good, less mental noise after the healing. Oh, isn't that nice? Good. Nice. Yeah, I think with the unblocking of the Serenity Rivers, we cleared out a lot of drama. You can keep working that too. Probably help more for that. Someone says hello to you. Someone says, I noticed I was looking backwards on my abundance path. Isn't that interesting? Now I'm looking to the side. We also talked about two people being in my river. Yes, your abundance river. I think they're mostly out, but Trace is still there. I think they're out. I think just in your abundance river, you have weak parts. And so people show up in the weak parts. So I don't think they made the weak parts. I think they were taking advantage of the weak parts. So I think there's a part of your abundance river where the volume goes down considerably. And I don't think it's that person who was there. I think there's more there. You know, like devices, maybe just devices. And so you can sort of have fun with it as you're clearing. Like, are they from past lives or from this life? You know, did you take it on from a parent in this life? Whatever. You know, but and the color, I'm curious if I commented to your video comment about it. I'm curious if you intuit the color too, because it's like the color of your abundance river does seem like weirdly not helpful to you. Like it's sort of a blackish blue, which seems a little suspicious. So you can intuit why it's got that blackish color to it throughout now. You know, and work on that. And you can intuit what color of your abundance river is most beneficial to you. And then, you know, just add that color of energy there, like as confetti, maybe. But anyway, hope that helps. And for those that don't know, there is an abundance river walkthrough video that is short in the short video playlist that is somewhat new in the last month or two. So you may not have been aware of it. But yeah, if you look at the short video playlist, which is featured on my YouTube channel page, like the third playlist down says short videos. And then you look in that playlist, one of them says Abundance River, Unblock Your Abundance River or something like that. Okay. Tomato emojis. I like frying tomatoes with Parmesan cheese. Well, I can't go wrong with that. Someone says, hi, Janet. I see a wall on my spiritual path when I try to proactively heal it for 3 months. Oh, and you're just now mentioning it? That's pretty interesting. I've recycled beings. It still looks the same. Maybe I'm just not seeing it clearly. Not sure what to try. No, I bet you're seeing it clearly. You're quite advanced. So the question is it a person's energy or people's energy? Yeah, it seems like from people, like family members. So then you can just like imagine your different family members like all spread out so you can see like, is it related to your mom? No, it's related to your dad. It's like his side of the family. So it's not exactly him. Is it any of your brothers? No. Yeah, it seems like your dad's side of the family. You can look at their paths. Did they have that same block? No. Does your dad have that same block? Yeah, your dad has that same block. So we may have discussed this in the past, how your dad kind of takes on burdens from people that he cares about. I don't know if you mentioned like at one point that he tries to help people that, are going through tragedies and stuff, which is great, but sometimes accidentally people dump in your space and then you still have it. So it looks like that. It looks like just burdens that he accidentally took on when he was helping people. Like if now it's 2026, his burdens are pretty old. They're from like 19 the 1990s. And then you just took copies of what he had. So it's just old burdens. You don't need to keep them or anything. There's no agreements that he has to keep them. There's no agreements that you have with him to keep them. I think they're just there. Why are they still there when you've tried to clear them? I think you do have an invasive being that. Oh, I see. It's an invasive being that your dad has. Oh, I see. Okay. So God beings are a thing. Like, we don't need the throat thing up anymore. So God beings. So okay. So you can have agreements with, angels, of course, but they're not really agreements with the angels. It's just sort of like part of your life plan. But you can have agreements with beings that are not angels, and so those can be pretty heavy agreements. Like say you had a past life where, your community worshipped this goddess of harvest, right? And so you gave the goddess of harvest offerings, and then that goddess actually did have some sway with the weather, and so it was able to, kind of tweak the weather in the area a little bit better, so that you were slightly more likely to have better harvest. So it got reinforced, like, wow, this really does help. So but then you can kind of promise more and more to this deity, and the deity is just a being, but they're larger. But they're not angels. So, but anyway, so it looks like your dad has some kind of God being that from some past life that he made an agreement with. Not from this life, no. And it's not like a current religion that he has or that your culture currently has. It's from like 6 lives ago. So it's some religion he doesn't have anymore. But unless you clear the agreements, they're still there. So I think that God being holds his wall in place, his burden wall, and also holds your burden wall in place. So you can just have your angels. I think if you clear your agreements with that God being, did you just take on his agreements, or did you? I think you were actually in that life with him. And so you guys both followed this deity and made agreements, like protection kind of in the way now. So you can clear that agreement with that God being, and then I think your dad would just copy you. He's pretty gifted. So I think he would see you, but if you notice like a day or two later he still hasn't cleared it, then you can talk to him telepathically and let him know he can have his angels help him with that. But I think that should be enough. We clear the agreements with the God being from your past life, and then I think then you can melt the burden wall from those people. So I hope that makes sense. Alrighty. But interesting. Interesting. Cat emoji. Chronic pain here, I understand. Yes, talking about chronic pain. Speaking of which, I guess my husband used to have his sleep apnea used to be much worse. And then I looked it up, like food causes for sleep apnea, just in case there were food causes. And apparently like hops, you know, like some kind of beer has more hops, like IPA beers have more hops. I don't exactly know what hops are. There's some kind of plant that goes into making beer. But anyway, so that was the kind of beer that he liked a lot and he was drinking a lot of. And so it is that and wheat, I think, too, contributes to sleep apnea, according to whatever I had read at the time. So I told him, and so he stopped having that kind of beer, and then he stopped having wheat, and he still has to sleep with an incline, but his apnea is much better than it used to be. But of course he cheats and has wheat sometimes, so it's not perfect. but it did improve his sleep apnea, changing what he was eating. So you can always look into, like, you know, like the other day someone was like, oh yeah, I get cramps after I go running. And the angels were like, yeah, there's some kind of, you know, food related kind of, you know, mineral deficiency, whatever. So I Googled, you know, I didn't Google, I don't use Google. I used a different search engine. But you know, is there a mineral deficiency related to getting cramps after running? And sure enough, yeah, if you don't take electrolytes, that could be a one possible cause. And it did seem like intuitively that was. So, you know, it's, since that's something you can control, what you eat or don't eat, you know, supplements you take or don't take, that's always I think a worthwhile thing to look into, just in case there is something you can do about, you know, some physical issue you're having. And of course, use your intuition and ask your angels, all that good stuff. Someone says, I feel my mother can scare me. I vaguely remember her name, but I don't quite. I wish you had put her initials. Oh, wait, maybe. No, she didn't get a healing this time. So anyway, I think it's just invasive beings that she has in her space scare you. I don't think it's her that scares you. No. You can look, you know, imagine a blob representing your mom, and imagine, you know, a bunch of clouds representing invasive beings in her space that actively try to trigger fear for you. And then just the angels, can you recycle those invasive beings? Just the ones that are actively messing with you and trying to trigger your fear. Ask your angels to recycle them. Yeah, I think that's more of what it is. Someone says, thanks for the healing, Janet. But yeah, I mean, good intuition that it is related to your mom. You have some fear stuff related to her. Someone says, thanks for the healing, Janet. I'm feeling good about the future. Oh, that's good. I was noticing this intense fear about not feeling like I have enough abundance. What do you recommend? It just looks like your mom jumping in your space. She's so funny. It's like she jumps in and she's like, well, have you done this yet? And what about this? And what about this? And what about this? She has this very hot when she jumps in your space. And it looks like it like freaks you out. Like you could have like a panic attack over it. I would just say, when in doubt, for you, it's a boundary issue with your mom. And just do like an earth energy soak, like a red earth energy. I don't think she can stay in there at red. If you do a full red earth energy soak, you know, just soak everything in red earth energy and just kind of hang out. Then I think she'll have to, like, you know, leave at that point. Because it's like when she wants to get in your space, it's this very high, like micromanaging, panic attack kind of vibe. You know, her husband, I think he's also your boss or something, or your boss's boss, or maybe he used to be, but not the guy that you kind of had feelings for, but your mom's husband who you did not have feelings for. I mean, you know, you don't have a crush on. It seems like he's like sort of this cloudiness over your abundance path. You could just wash him out there. Maybe he just doesn't want you to quit and change jobs. But I mean, that's not your problem. Just, you know, like use cold light and melt him off your path. You know, like use cold light and melt him off your path. So hope that makes sense. Someone says got taxes to do too. Yes. Yes. What's this about? Giving away stuff. Hoarding. Yes, I totally feel myself slipping into hoarding territory sometimes. My parents are really big. I feel myself slipping into hoarding territory sometimes. My parents are really big hoarders. Ooh. You know, you can sometimes. I don't that's not something that's on my radar for them. We'll definitely work this more. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, I'm a ditz about this. I asked my angel spirit guide, what do I need more abundance in? I still don't know, and I hope the answer comes to me when I get the visions before I wake up. Visions before I wake up. What do you need more abundance in? Yeah, I'm unclear what you mean. Like, if you have enough, then you have enough. I mean, if you feel like your abundance is at the level that you need, then you don't have to work it. You could work something else. You could work something else. I mean, you could work clearing fear. You could work else. I mean, you could work clearing fear. You could work you know, that's the same chakra. But yeah, it's possible. You don't have to work abundance. That's something you can journal about and think about, you know. You know, your money could be more independent and less dependent on other people. But you can journal and talk to your angels about what is beneficial to you, just what doesn't matter to you. You know, beneficial to your learning and growth and empowerment. So it says, yes, I thought the color of the river seems black. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering if you sensed that or not. Someone says, yes, sore throat. Oh, okay. So heat. Yeah. I wonder about food that you're eating. Are you eating anything warming? Sometimes a tea will be warming and it's like you don't realize it. You know, like what the tea that I had, not right now because I finished it, but I combined lemon balm and the I'm gonna forget what it's called. Holy basil tea, because for me the holy basil tea is a little warming. So I'll come one cooling with one warming. So because otherwise I'll get heat issues. So maybe like nuts are warming, chocolate's warming, you know, there are things that you might not associate with warming that maybe you're eating. So you keep contributing to the heat imbalance, maybe. It says, hey Janet, thank you so much. Also spices, you know, spices can be very warming in a sort of an intense way. Look up the spices that you use. Consider that. It says, hey Janet, thank you so much. Is there anything I need to focus on in healing and anything my angels would like me to know? Yeah, there's something about telepathy, like hearing your angels. And it's like the way they show it to me, it's like you can hear your angels, but there's a lot of chatter from a couple people in your life that gets piped right into your fifth layer and your fifth chakra. It's like some chords are in the front of your throat chakra and some chords are in the back of your throat chakra. So some people are like a little secretive about piping into your mind, and some people are more obvious about piping into your mind. But chords from people that chord your fifth, just so you have a deeper serenity and a deeper intuitive clarity and more precise hearing of your angel messages. So yeah, work on, because they're like, you're a little overly tolerant uttering at you on a telepathic level, which may be sometimes conscious, but maybe largely subconscious, but it still affects, you know, your hearing ability and your serenity and peace of mind and, you know, clarity with your own intuition. So you have some blocks in the front and back of the fifth chakra, so it's easier for people to chord. So you can just imagine the blocks and keep melting them and melt the chords and keep blocks and melt the chords. Hope that makes sense. But they say that you know who it would be. It's not like a big surprise. You don't have to know who it is, but they're like, oh yeah, no, she knows these people. Someone says hello from Chicago. Happy spring. Hello to you. Peaches. Oh, your favorite fruit. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, what is my favorite fruit since I told everyone else? Well, maybe tomatoes. You know, tomatoes are fruit technically. Yeah, because I can grow them and I can eat them and they're yummy. Squashes technically, I guess, are fruit too, right? So I like squashes a lot, like delicata squash. I really like there are like a lot of soft squashes. I think our co-op supermarket that we have. This is kabocha squash. Kabocha squash. So this will be really. It's like somewhat it's like a cousin of like how sweet pasty. I mean, I don't know exactly kabocha squash, but we've had a bunch of different winter squashes that have very similar yumminess. So maybe that's my favorite fruit is winter squashes. Someone says, I think there's a bunch of beings in my abundance river. I wonder if I picked them up after a small medicine ceremony last weekend. That's possible. Yeah, well, you can round up, have your angels recycle them. Yeah. You can do it. Someone says, so interesting. I was trying to clear about the blocks on your path that your dad also has, and then the God being from a past life. So interesting. I have tried to clear DNA past burdens in the past week and accepting blessings from my bloodline. I think that's where I went wrong. Okay. Someone says, hello, Janet. Hello to you. I have been feeling a lot of overwhelm, disconnection lately due to my current occupation, drained and lethargic. I also have been focusing on working for myself lately. Any insights? Sure. Hmm. Mm. So the whole thing about, I'm feeling drained and lethargic due to my current job, basically, right? So that is always like a kind of a thing. Like you want to look at what about your current job I mean, obviously, plenty of people don't like their job and it's kind of sucks, and they want a different job. But sometimes to evolve beyond it in really create a totally different situation that feels not just like literally different boss, different job. You kind of, it's ideal to learn everything that you're meant to learn at your current job. So for me, you can imagine that however you want, but for me, I find it easy to imagine like a kind of like a to-do list check. And so like say your current job, like literally your current job with the current boss and everything, what were you meant to learn at this job? How many check boxes of like learning, and you don't have to know what each checkbox literally is, but okay, so it looks like, there are like 6 check boxes for this current job and you've checked 4 of them, but 2 of them are still to be checked. So it means there's more learning for you to do. It doesn't mean you couldn't leave your job tomorrow if you felt like it, but then you'd be learning those 2 extra check boxes in whatever new employment situation you have versus here. So ideally you learn it all here. So a lot of that is like, typically it's like if your job doesn't kill you, if your job doesn't kind of conquer your soul, that's the ideal. Even if it's a soul sucking kind of job, if you can somehow use it as strength training, like if you go to the gym and you lift weights and that builds muscle, right? So on a spirit level, that's somewhat similar. And so this job is like burdensome and whatever, but if you can evolve beyond, like if you can, heal yourself to the point where, your boss doesn't bore through your mind and, this coworker doesn't like eat out your heart every day, like if you can just keep strengthening gold, flowy energy, red earth energy, orange earth energy, yellow, whatever it takes, just like angels help me to have healthy boundaries with everyone at work, so that you strength train and use it as like going to the gym. You're using it for the time that you're still there as, okay, I want to evolve as much as I can in this job. Use it like weight training spiritually, right? That usually like brings you back and gets you much more present. Because a lot of times once people have decided this job sucks, I don't even want to be here, I don't even want this kind of job anymore, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that expression, in my mind, I'm already gone. Yeah. And so you're kind of like going through the motions at work. And so that really screws energy boundaries. So what was a soul sucking, heart scooping out kind of job before, in your mind, you're already gone. You see what I'm saying? So like actually a big part of your energy is not present when your body is at work. So the idea is show up, be there, take it like a spiritual strength training thing. Have your angel, just will yourself to evolve as much as you can while you're there, so that when you leave, when you manifest leaving, you manifest to something truly better for yourself. So I hope that makes sense. That's the basic gist of it. So don't be like, in my mind, I'm already gone. Show up more, not for them, but for you, and because there's like some boundary issues that you're having, but it's partially, I mean, before you checked out, you were having the boundary issues, and then it seems like you're just like, well, there's no point. What's the point? But the point is your own strength. You're there for your learning, and so you don't want to give up on your learning. So hope that makes sense. Thank you for the insight. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, good. As far as you working for yourself, I think that, the evolving and using it like your spiritual weightlifting gym is good, because the funny thing is when you work for someone else versus when you're self-employed, it's really easy to think, well, I'm not productive because this guy's such a jerk and he gives me the dumbest tasks to do. Or I'm not productive because this lady won't shut up all damn day long, And so if I could just work for myself in my own damn home, be my own damn boss, I would be fine. I would focus, I'd have productivity, I'd be a rock star, right? And it's not that you couldn't be a rock star when you're self-employed, and I do love being self-employed 100,000%. So I'm definitely not of it, but sometimes without the boss and without the coworker who won't shut up, you still have the inner baggage that also causes the focus issues and the apathy or whatever. You know what I mean? So like if you just, that's another reason to just show up when you're at work and really try to be at your best for yourself so that you can clear some of that inner baggage that might get in the way when you're self-employed. Hope that makes sense. And you could do clearing exercises, you know, like any of the grounding stuff, you know, just like bring up your grounding and lots of gold light and just imagine you're melting away any baggage in the way of you achieving in this job, achieving spiritually in this job, and achieving spiritually once you're self-employed. Hope that makes sense. And I wonder if you have any dates for yourself, like if you have a plan about, give yourself goals and dates. Like, okay, by this date, I want to, you know, do this. And by this date, I want to do this. And by this date, I want to do this. Just so you can, even if the goals, you end up revising them, if you line up goals for yourself, it helps trigger the block in the way. And so then if you keep with your wellness and your grounding and your good sleep and all that and your stretching, you'll be clearing the baggage in the way. So yeah, they want you to make some goals around, you know, your transition towards whatever self-employment you want. You know, how gradually you need to do it or however you know, your strategy. I hope that makes sense. Someone says, good for your husband improving his sleep. Janet, yes. Yeah, that is good. Someone says, clarifying question. He has changed a lot about his life because of food stuff. I mean, I have too, but I was earlier on than he was. His is more recent, like within the last decade. He's lost a lot of weight. He's, you know, just by changing how he eats and what he eats. He has a lot less skin issues and joint issues. I mean, he still has some joint issues, but nothing like he used to have. He's much more careful and uses his intuition to figure out, okay, well, why is my skin reacting this way? What is it that I was eating? You know, for years he didn't want to do any of that, but then it just got too annoying. So he got on board with, yeah, more mindful eating and food choices and stuff. He's done a lot. So it says, clarifying question. Does it mean deities like Ganesha, Lakshmi aren't really divine beings, angels, and we shouldn't work with them? It depends. I don't know about all deities, of course, but I have looked at Hindu deities, Serenity River stuff that we did today. I didn't learn it from them, but I just happened to notice, like, you know, like a lot of the Buddhist monks have really good serenity rivers. So I think that those beings like Ganesha and all those, Lakshmi and all those, I think they really are deity beings, but like God beings, like I was talking about, but I think some are more respectful than others. I think it's more the norm that they are kind of heavy and you owe them and all that, but I think the Buddhism ones don't seem to be. So it depends. It depends on your religion and what deity beings we're talking about. But yeah, you can always double check with your angels, you know. I mean, angels are always respectful and all that, so I just stick with them. but yeah, like I said, there are a lot of people who are Buddhist monks who have phenomenal energy. So fun fact. And the Dalai Lama has, you know, very present. Thank you for the insight. That makes a lot of sense. Someone says, I said body out loud when you said body, Janet. Oh, I see. About my husband, I think. Someone says, it sure does. Thank you. Yes, I will do that. Okay, cool. Alrighty. So I just want to say happy spring. I'm so happy it's finally spring. So, that's pretty much it. There's no updates of random life stories, I don't think. Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, all right, fine. I did plant my tomato seeds like a couple days ago. Tomato and basil I've planted now. Da-da-da-da. So, but I won't say all the stuff I still have to do. There's a lot, but I won't. Sometimes if you list stuff out and you're talking to people, then they might get their energy in your stuff. So I tend to not talk about stuff that I still have to do in the future. But if I've already done it, then I don't mind talking about it because it's already done. So I did plant the tomatoes and the basil seeds, and I rigged up a system in the room where, because Boo Boo Kitty is in my grow room, in the room where, because Boo Boo Kitty is in my grow room, and so I have to like kind of protect everything so that hopefully she doesn't destroy the plants. So far, she has not tried to get to my plants because I put all sorts of stuff around it. So we'll see. That's an ongoing challenge. And I've covered up some. We have these cord protectors because our almost adult cat, still old kitten, Felix, is a cord chewer. So he doesn't chew every cord. He tends to chew like the chewer. So he doesn't chew every cord. He tends to chew like the ones. Oh, that's nice. What's this audio? I think my audio is fine. So you might have to get out of YouTube and come back in. But I'm about to wrap up the stream, so but yeah, I don't think audio just and obviously everyone else as well. jwhealing.com is my website. Audio keeps cutting off. Well, yeah, I don't know what that is. I hope it's just you. I mean, I'm sorry that you're having that problem, but is that any better? Is that any better, guys? You could tell me. La 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 la. Is that better? Well, I have to go anyway. So, but you guys are awesome. No audio. Damn it. So I'm just going to wrap up anyway. So you guys are amazing. Bye.